stood at the edge too long and watched the waves carry my soul off farther than I could see. That's when I reached the end of me. Emptier than the sky, light was in full exposure. One bullet to the bullseye, my heart was taking over. I forget my lows in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Solace is composed in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Reveries unfold in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Never letting go of the afterglow, of the afterglow. So I ran to keep up with the sun. Any chance to hold on, one more moment before it's gone. After the taste, I'm desperately chasing. Nothing else quite equates to a peace I'm feeling after a taste. I won't need to waste my time with pain, 'cause I never known this healing. I forget my lows in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Solace is composed in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Reveries unfold in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Never letting go of the afterglow, of the afterglow.
Hello! Welcome in, people! Bad Stag, who was first in? Who was first in? We had D, me, and Bad Stag. Hello, guys, welcome in. Jones, McMillanhead, been looking forward to this all day. Mate, it's not that interesting. So Adam's not here yet. So that's an issue. He's on his way, he's stuck in traffic, or this is the ultimate troll. Klinger, hello man, welcome in. So, if you want, we can start with some questions just now. Bad, thank you man, 3 months in a row. Hello mate, thank you so much mate. Ethan, you started pushing CAD content. Ethan, you need to like message me or something. I don't know what it is. So guys, because we're on YouTube as well, we're live on YouTube and Twitch, the sounds don't work. The sounds are cut. So there's no sounds, there's no magic at the moment, I'm sorry. You can get on your laptop, see if you can start the interview. He's on his way. It's going to be like 5 minutes. In fact, I better check my my stuff just now. I'm gonna have to keep Discord open so that I can see it, guys. But you know, did I just open out? John, right, wait. Let me find featured chat. It's, oh, I need to go. I don't know if it's on the screen. Let's find out. It's not on the screen, but I did. What's happening with Iron Brew, Big Melonhead? I don't know. I think Adam is totally hyping that up. I think he's making... I don't think that's... If Iron Brew appears in this chat, I will lose my mind. Alright? There's no way it's actually happening. Alright? But it's... but yeah, I opened up... There you go. Kinda... Focus. Come on, camera. Focus. There we go. Look at that. That scan your can? Instagram. No, on Instagram. Maybe that's what I need to do. But yeah, so he actually sent me the topics we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a few things. It should be good. You know, like all the usual stuff. Where did you come from? All that sort of stuff. We're going to try and find it in Canada. So I think Iron Brew is banned in Canada. So I have friends who moved to Canada from Scotland, and that was their only complaint about Canada, was that Iron Brew is banned. Because it's like, it's not good for you. But you could import it. Yeah, Canada, don't think's got it. Don't think Canada's got it. Sorry, guys. Can I send you some? Has Adam got a relative works for Iron Brew? Do you know what, bad? See if he does. That'd be absolutely insane. I'm trying to keep my my DMs with Adam open. So the last thing he said about 45 minutes ago was, "Is that over on YouTube?" Or was that on Twitch? Big Melonhead. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that sub is, but thank you, man. Oh no, it's a paid for sub. Thank you, man. That's a Twitch sub. Thank you, mate. It's banned in Canada. I think it might be, man. Mahim, hello over on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. YouTube's a quiet place, mate. But thank you for being here. I need to have a wee check of the chat on YouTube. How did I do that? I don't even know. I'm not quite sure how. You can buy Iron Brew on Amazon. Nice. So it's legal to smoke weed in Canada, but you can't drink Iron Brew. I think it might be. I think that's a true story, man. I think you've nailed it on the head there. That's exactly it, man. Go to live control room. Is this it? There you go, I can see it. Oh, look at that. We're there, we're there. Hello. There's not yet. There's probably less chemicals. There's more chemicals in this, but it's tasty chemicals. Maham, I'm good, man. Hello, hello. Maham. Oh, Maham, wait, you're appearing over here as well. Oh, that's cool. I thought that was just Twitch chat. I'm confused. Are you talking? That's so cool. Judo Sloth is here. What the? Hi, Judo. Why is Judo Sloth in my chat? He's not a guest today. There's not even another big YouTuber. Susie Gaming. What? Hi. Susie. Sorry if I've not been excited by you guys being back. I'm sorry for you guys appearing. I'm also excited by every single one of you being in here. But Judo Sloth, 1 million subscribers. Susie Gaming, Clash of Clans esports legend, just hanging out. Just hanging out in chat. It's ridiculous. It's actually insane. Hello. And Paz is here as well. Even better. No offense, Judo, but Paz is here. So you know. Big deal. We've actually lost a follower while I've been live. I don't know if you noticed that. That was on 3932. It's now gone 3931. What's going on? When is Adam on? Adam is... I mean... sometime soon. He's 45 minutes away 45 minutes ago. All the celebrities want to know the ins and outs of Mack. Yeah, they all want to. So if you want Superstar and Mack to go mad, Adam always. Yeah, exactly. Mahim, I don't have an Instagram account. I have Twitter, I have YouTube, and I have Twitch. Yeah, and I'm just not young enough to handle Instagram. I can't do anymore. I've actually got TikTok. I don't even understand how that is a thing. Guys, the chat's actually moving so quickly I can't keep up. You bet Darian will be lurking? No way. No way Darian will be lurking. What else? There was someone was actually asking questions. Like, you finished the Goblin map for TikTok. Ah, okay, and use the cool, man. Did you? Oh, here we go. 6me9's got one. Did you ever try something as an adult that you did as a kid that you find difficult? If so, what is it? Something that I was better at as a kid. Probably computer games. Computer games got hard, man. So, computer games against a computer. I grew up in a world where you played against a computer and you could work out ways of beating. Does that make sense? You knew the systems of beating it. Jay Robson with the riddles again. Whereas computer games now is all player versus player, yeah, PvP, and humans act differently. I hate it. They're too good. I was on the Mack report a while back. You know, Mack report, Judo, you are, man. Judo was like, so Bash I think was the first guy. The first one that I took a bit of a step out. I was like, I'm just gonna ask him. So Clash Bash, and I just messaged him, do you want to come on? And he was like, and his actual reply was, I'm sorry I can't, but maybe later. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. And he said, yeah, do it. And he messaged me later on about it. That was like really, I was like, I'm not sure. Will Matt try and get 2 stars this is I'll try and be consistent 2 stars and not 2 1 stars. Flipping it. Darren's been on twice. You know what? Judo has been invited back, but you know, Judo was, I don't know, he made up some excuse about, I've just been to LA, I've been away from my family for pretty much this like 2-3 months. I'm a bit tired. Can I come on later? That was basically what he said. You know, some excuse. Something about being lazy. I'm just constantly checking Discord to see if he's saying hello. You come on with Judo. Oh, well, that was the Judo one. Was actually we talked about like the UK meetup. There is going to be another London live-ish mini London meetup thing going on soon. Sir Moose has been on. Sir Moose did a face reveal. I did invite you, but I've not been in touch since. Judo, I don't want to be pestering, do you know what I mean? This is when I pester you. I call you out in public. Any chance of others here? Tom Anchor, if you want to post on, so Tom Anchor, there's a Judo Sloth in your clan already. But you know, there's a real one in the chat. But yeah, by all means, man, share your clan link. Tell people why they want to join your clan. And most people here have got a clan, but you know, you can share it. Adam's just messaged saying, stupid traffic. So, you know. Any more questions? Get nice on the Mack report. Who would you like to see? Who would you like to see that I haven't had on? I want Susie Game to come on, but she's too shy. I've been pestering Susie. I don't know if you guys can hear the music. Avi, I asked Avi a couple of times. I've had Lady B on. I've had Itsu on a couple of times. Itsu's been on a couple of times, so they're all on YouTube, guys. Avi's not been on. I asked him, did I get the job went for? No, I didn't, man. Carbon's been on. Carbon was on this year, like maybe 3 weeks ago. Lex, I'd love to have Lex on. I haven't been able to get Lex on yet. Yeah, Lex is Pedro's been on. Guys, this is insane. It's insane the number of people that you mention. I'm like, I've been on. Yeah. It's crazy. So that's what I was saying on the first big guest I had on was Clash Bashing. Was Rocky. Lando Gaming was kind of the YouTuber. DK Gaming, hello man. Get Woody on. He's the only member. Omar, thank you man. 15 months. Any players? I've had a few players. Pero we had on, that was good. Camboy's been on. It happens every week. Jay Robinson, I remember you from yesterday, man, with all the riddles that I couldn't work out. Turns out I'm not very good at riddles. Adam Carnage came on with Death Inc. Chase the Ace has been on with Hooked, and Chase came on at the same time. And the title was, What Did Alternate Attacks Do Wrong? And that was reviewing the 2020. Johnny, hello man. Johnny Collada is from the clan I used to be part of, Sparto Agogi. Come a long way from that really old History of Sparto Agogi video. That was the very first video made on the remake one. So I had an old channel. The channel was old. It was called Tales from Sparto, and it was Sparto Agogi, and it was just like, here's a war. And then I stopped doing them because I changed jobs and all that. Have I had Echo on? I've not. I asked Echo on, and he said no. There's only been a couple of people. You remember all that old Sparto stuff? Yeah. Bradders was the second guest I ever had on. Have I done a Mack report featuring Mack? This is the Mack report featuring Mack. Stephanie and Machabi, I would love to get them on. Had me on voice chat but not on the Mack report. That is true, man. I just caught myself moving my hand. Weird. I'd love to have Stephanie Machabi on, but they have like a wall around them. I've tried. I've contacted. The same with Kartik. I approached Kartik. So there's come some people I've approached and they don't speak English, and that's fair enough. So they can't. So that's really difficult. So Eric's been on. Eric was a brilliant guest because Eric's quite a reserved person. Does that make sense? So before, I wasn't quite sure how it was going, and he really, see when the live stream went on, he just came to life, and it was really good. It was awesome. And then he came on a second time just before the Worlds. We had me, Eric, Adam, and Itsu on. I asked more, but I couldn't get any more. And that was brilliant. That was so cool. All split in 4 different boxes. That was very cool. Bad Stag. He's sending me a fan. I don't know what that means. Bad Stag Game. I need to get Bad Stag on. True story. True story. Yeah, so my first ever guest was Risty from Unfair Warfare. It was meant to be Crunk. Crunk suggested the idea. What's the stream going to be involved in? Jay Robson, I'm waiting for Adam to turn up and he's going to interview me. So once a week, Jay Robson, we interview people from the world of Clash of Clans. And the sort of the wider Superstar thing, but it's never really gone beyond that. Some tribe players, I'd love to have tribe on, so I interviewed Hertha when he was a player in tribe. Trying to cool me off and flush. Yeah, it's a bit of embarrassment as well. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not used to being in the middle of it. Yeah, I'd love to get Maxi on. That's good. Yeah, that's some good suggestions. I'd love to have someone like legendary. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'd love to have Kartik on. So Kartik and Machabi's, I approached through their wall, through their sort of keepers, and I couldn't get any further. Maybe I could get an interview in your Legend of FIFA game. Nice, man. TDH, yeah, so I'd love to get some like Legends of, so like, I haven't bought it yet, Ethan. I haven't bought the Prime Team yet. I'd love to get something like Jake from One Hive, or Galadon, or Chief Pat. Clash with Us. People that maybe aren't necessarily, or Power Bang, yeah? The people I used to watch years and years ago who aren't really involved anymore. Surmoose has been on. Surmoose was the, I should get Mr. De Silver on. I don't know who that is. You have the Prime Scene. I'm gonna get it. Have you on? Clipsy. I don't think I watched Clipsy. So my 2 favourite streamers or YouTubers, because I didn't really watch Twitch back then. We'd love to see me at Worlds. It would be so cool. I'd jump at an opportunity like that. Susie with our drinks and powers. Yeah, that was just a couple of weeks ago. We seem to be going down at like orgs. So we've had like Mack Gaming on. Drew and Chaz came on. We had Strut on. We've had Boom on in the past as well, but not since they've moved to Strut. It's really interesting. What's cool is being able to talk about. Have I had Sir Mers on this? Who's Sir Mers? I don't think so. I don't know who that is. I don't know who Sir Mers is. Gonna have to get Paul Block Morcott. We have to do cheese tasting. Cheese tasting, sorry. Guys, we haven't done any shoutouts, but there's loads of streamers in here. Loads of streamers. We've got Bad Stag, we've got Susie. We've got, just click on everyone's name and follow them. Mo Color, really nice quality. Thank you, man. Have I had Ninja on here? I've had a Ninja on here. I've had Clash Ninja. Clash.Ninja. That was a really interesting one because he didn't want to show his face. And I wasn't sure how that was going to go. And so I decided to get Risty back on as well. And also, we're talking about like computer design and all that. It was going to be a little bit, I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be a bit dull. Not the real Ninja, Clash.Ninja. So if you use code Ninja in Clash of Clans, you're not giving it to the blue haired guy, you're giving it to Clash.Ninja, who has a website which gives you brilliant sort of like farming support and all this sort of advice for how to get through Clash of Clans, how to progress your base. Get Acer on. Acer's been on. Acer and Big Vale came on at the same time. Kenny Joe would be amazing. That's a good call. I'd love to get Kenny Joe on. That's a really good call, man. I'd love Avi on as well. So I tried to get Avi on. Avi quite often would raid into this. And he said like, and he's like, oh, no one's ever interviewed me before. I'm like, I'd love to interview you. But I think I've messaged him 3 times and he's always been busy. Tim the Tap Man. Tim the Tap Man would be epic. Mackenzro and Bastag, my 2 favorite streamers. Big Melonhead, you have awful taste, man. You need to get out more. You need to look at more streamers. That's all I'm saying, man. I mean, Bad Stag's alright, but that Mack guy, I don't know about that. Do you want to keep asking? We'll just keep doing viewer questions, guys. So look, well, I'll show you the scene that I've got set up, ready to go. Clip with the capture yelling at us. So here, look, if we go on this side, that's ready to go. But there's no Adam here yet, so that's why I'm just sitting on this screen. I'm sure there was more questions. The chat's actually moving faster than I can handle. One thing you love and one thing you dislike about Clash. Oh, that's a good question. One thing, oh. Well, we start with the dislike. I hate how long it takes to get from brand new account all the way up. But it is kind of the nature of the game. But getting... It's too long. Does that make sense? I'm not interviewing myself. You guys are interviewing me. So... Get Ellie on. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be fun. But getting all the way from like from the esports point of view, it's too long. Yeah, there needs to be like a mode we could drop it in, and you just start at like Town Hall 14, ready to go. Yeah. What did I think of Ellie drinking Iron Brew? It was brilliant. What's your opinion about streaming issues people talking about on Twitter? Mate, Drew, I've been getting involved in it as well. I think we'll probably talk about that when Adam's on. I really dislike... I dislike being told that I'm not allowed to stream something. That makes sense? How do I feel? Hey, he's coming back, and Ned, he's coming back on the show, man. Did Ellie like it? Yeah, he liked it. Do a COC mukbang. I don't think I know enough about what mukbang is. I can't work out what that would look like. Mara Jade! Hello, Mara! I've not seen Mara on in chat for ages. Hello, Mara. Mara lives in different time zones. Hello, Mara. How's it going? 19 months. Mara from the very first one. And Zim's in here as well. Other than adding me, who would you put on your 5v5 All-Star team? Well, obviously me. So that's 2 carries we've got. No offense, Zim. Yeah, new account. Yeah, like just miss out a few. I think no. So I think with new accounts they need to be able to. Sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. But if you start a new account, just click a button. Starts at Town Hall 14. You get a max Town Hall 14. And then you've got like a farming game and an esports game. People that jump straight to Town Hall 14 will not be as good. But people that have already got a Town Hall 14 and created a second account, boom, straight in. The problem is that that loses a lot of money potentially. London, yes or no? Me, I don't know. It's probably a no. London's a long way, man. Do I get blacklisted if you stream something you're not told not to? Probably. So, in recent history, the people that have stopped just streaming were Muchavis did it, Stephanie Cup did it. They only wanted their finals on their channel. I mean, and I kind of do it with like Family Feud. It's my tournament. There's no sponsors really involved, apart from Poor Burnt Base and Clash Champs. But there's not massive money involved, so there's no need to sort of for everyone to see it. Does that make sense? So I just go from it's all going to be on my thing. It's like I'm putting all the work in, I'm going to do it, and that's kind of the angle we're going for. Fly down me, you're an absolute maniac. How rich do you think I am? Chase, hello man. Chase Ace is in. So Worlds, it's always been a thing that Clash of Clans just want to do, and it's fair enough. There's a quality control they want to do, and that kind of makes sense. But the thing that annoys me with the quality control is my quality, being a bit controversial here, the quality of my stream, with me not talking actually about the attacks, but I would put some effort in if I was streaming Worlds, but the quality of my stream, I would argue, is better than the quality of some other streams who maybe have even less views than me, but just because they're streaming a different language and you're trying to push up. Does that make sense? Basu Dev, next update, so I am not in charge of the updates, man. I'm sorry. I cannot control when the update is. I think there'll be maybe a couple of months. We normally get like a summer update. Jay Robson, are you just sharing hot tub streamers? I've never heard of any of these people. So I think there'll be an update in the next couple of months, but it'll just be a small one, and then your big updates sort of, I think it's going to be fall. And we've got this new game mode coming at some point. I don't know. Don't know when that's going to happen though. I'm still looking at chat at my Discord. Guys, it's crazy how many of you are in here. You guys are actual legends. I genuinely thought no one would turn up for this one. Where's Time of Clash? He's stuck in traffic, Crunk. He's in there. Oh, I thought you were talking about Time to Clash there. He has messaged me at 8:15 saying stupid traffic. Need a new game mode soon. You quit Clash for Brawl Stars. So I played Rauf Salim. I played Brawl Stars over the summer, and it was great fun. The progress is really quick. All that sort of stuff. You get really rotated. Lots of stuff to collect. I really liked it. Drunk, I don't know, man. This is Adam Stock from Mackey D's. So, first things first, that's the first thing we're going to check is what's going on with his car. But yeah, so they've been working, Rauf, that's what Darian was saying a couple of weeks ago. They've been working on a new game mode for a while now. Brawl Stars ain't good for fat thumbs. So do you know the reason I don't play Brawl Stars on stream? I play Brawl Stars on my phone, yeah? Because I can't lift an iPad. I can't hold an iPad and play it. It's too much hard work. So I've done it a couple of times, but it's too much hard work. Wish they bring Power League concept to Clash in Legends League. That would be game changing. Mate, that would actually be awesome. You got a war in an hour and a half, tell Adam to hurry up. Yeah, so the new game mode, people are sort of talking about this co-op, everyone attacks a big mega base together, but they previously ruled that out. That's from Boom Beach, and they've ruled that out. It's not something that's going to happen. So a Power League concept similar to Clash and Legends League, that would be pretty cool. I don't know exactly how they would do. If I could only watch one Clash of Clans content creator for the rest of my life, who would it be? Oh, just one. Would I be able to watch on YouTube and Twitch? Or like, would I just have to watch their Twitch content? So, I mean, Mara's not a bad shout because Mara plays decent music. One for each platform. Who would I prefer, Clash Bashing or Judo? Oh, Jay Robson, that's not right. Remember, Judo is lurking. So, I watch more Judo videos. Does that make sense? Judo makes videos that interest me. Does that? It seems really that's not the Clash Bashing dope. But I don't watch much Clash of Clans YouTube. Does that make sense? I watch Clash of Clans Twitch. I don't watch much Clash of Clans YouTube. That's why I don't make many Clash of Clans YouTube videos. Does that make sense? Because I don't just want to make another, oh man, here's the highlights of a war or something like that, because the wars are live. That's what I enjoy doing. Does that make sense? Whereas Judo does stuff like playing Clash of Clans on top of a plane, or if you leave your... I watched... Clash Bashing is way funny. I don't know, man. Judo's right here, man. I like Judo. I like Bash as well. It's not that I'm hating on one of them. Does that make sense? Judo makes educational and entertaining videos. But, so, like, in the new update, there was the stuff about, if you leave your village unattended for 100 days. That makes sense? You leave your village unattended for 100 days, it starts upgrading itself. I had no idea. I completely missed that from the notes. Yeah? I totally missed that from the notes. And then a video comes out saying, I've left my village blank, empty for 100 days, let's see what it looks like. I was like, I want to know about this. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Have an all-female week on the Mack report. Lady B, Mara and Aries. So, Lady B and Mara have been on before, Ned. Aries hasn't been on. I did ask her, but she didn't want to come on. I tried to get Aries and... I did try to get Aries and... Who did I try to get on at the same time? Aries and Coco, I think. And... I struggled. I got Coco on eventually. Mack hates elephants. Mack does not hate elephants. That was an awkward statement. Dreek over on YouTube and then also on Twitch. Hello, man. And Ralph Salim saying, I feel that the update's coming. So yeah, he talked. So there was a question that on the Darian interview that I missed at the time. All right. So Darian had said at one point, he said I only do, what was it he said? He said we only name the modes towards the end. This is the last thing they do, they come up with names. And he almost said the name of the new mode. Therefore it's got a name, therefore it's pretty close to getting done. And that was a question that was in it, and I am gutted I never asked him, because it's a brilliant question. And basically I was looking through all the questions, the exclamation mark Q's after, and I totally missed it. Tom Anker, no, none of the points are working just now. There is a little timer bot saying that. Nothing's working, because I'm on YouTube as well. A lot of the redemptions also set off sounds that you can't play on YouTube. That's why we got different music on today. so that I don't get the whole thing done. Right, okay, I don't know where Adam is. Was Adam trolling me this whole time? It's just a just chatting stream. I love that Zim's in here. So one of my best performing videos, Papa Shango, hello man. One of my best performing videos, still is a video about that makes Tom. I'll refund it later. I'll refund a bunch of them later. Don't worry. Is there a giveaway or something? There's no giveaway this time. There was a giveaway when Darian was on. There's no giveaway this time. Yeah, one of my first videos was one on Burnt Bass. This thing called Burnt Bass. It was how to use Burnt Bass bot, and it absolutely blew up. And it still gets loads of views. And Burnt Bass have been huge supporters of the channel since then. I don't know your beardo. No, I don't, man. Ben! Thank you, man. Sorry, I just yelled that. Thank you so much. Easy to support. Mara, you're a legend. Mara, like, you've been subbed, I think, since the very first month you could sub to me. You, Alex, and CJ, I think, are the only people that have done that. Absolutely huge. CJ's hardly ever in chat. The same as you. You're hardly ever here, but you just support. It's brilliant. Opinion on what's going on in Ukraine, it's not good, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's not really a talking point though, is it? You lurk, Mara, you're a legend. I appreciate the lurk. Why so many capitals? But, so here, I could probably pull up a list of subs. I could tell you... Do I know Dale Phillip? I don't, Ralph. I've got no idea who that is. Tweed's in the house as well. Hello, Tweed. I mean, Adam will be here at some point, I would have thought. I'm just asking him if he's driving to my house. Unless you just put that. What's my opinion on people constantly using caps in chat? Is Adam Mafia? He's probably playing it right now. He's a Scottish vlogger. Oh, is that the guy on there's a guy on TikTok who's hilarious. Scottish guy. Adam says he's not heading to my house. So, Ruff, there's a guy called Clash with Style. When I first started, he was a brilliant support, man. Get the crankies on. Oh, the Proclaimers. That'd be amazing. We're heading to Slovakia border with Slovakian border with Ukraine on Wednesday. Long ass journey. Are you've done that already, haven't you, Tweed? Are you going back again? We've got 60 people watching the chat. Crap, you did something right. Krug, honestly. It's a fair point, Krug, but I genuinely don't understand why you guys are here. And look, I've gone red again. I'm embarrassed. On average, how many iron brews do you have per stream? Maybe 1 or 2. I try not to have too many. So it kind of happened by accident. I just used to always have a can of something on stream, but with Iron Brew, when everyone's drinking Iron Brew, people were like, what's that? Because it's not everywhere. Will Adam ever show up, or was this a giant scheme to make you think he'd be interviewed? Do you know what, Joe? I think I've been trolled by Adam. Is he sitting in the chat just now? Someone at Adam and see if he's there. Can't go wrong with an Iron Brew. Exactly, man. Do you think they'll change Super Troop, Shot or Unlock, or having more than 2 every 3 days. So when they first came out, there was 1 for a week. Yeah? And then they changed it to 2, and they reduced the time down a little bit. So the idea behind Super Troops was always meant to be that it was a sync for... I've seen the new... Yeah, man. It was meant to be a sync for Dark Elixir. There was nowhere to... So you had walls for maxed out or almost max players to dump Elixir and Gold into, but there was nowhere to dump Dark Elixir. So the idea behind Super Troops was that was the way to dump Dark Elixir. But the problem was... the problem with that was that they're so powerful and they're now like a huge part of the game. So that's sort of where that came from. I think the best solution, but it's still a sync, I think the best solution is you pay the amount, pay whatever it is, 25, I don't even know how much it is, 2,500 dark, but 25 dark, whatever amount of Dark Elixir you have to pay, you pay that for 3 days, and if you change your mind, you cancel it, but you don't get a refund of your Dark Elixir. I don't see how that's a win-win. It's a win for Clash, a win for us, perfect. Am I planning on interviewing with Beakers? Right, I need to write down these names, guys, because you guys have suggested some awesome names. Beakers Lab is a great idea. Beakers Lab, Avi. So basically a list of people I need to get back in contact with. 25k. Ethan, I definitely said that. I said about 1 million numbers, so there's one for them. There's one for you. Do you think there will be more pets before a new hero? So, Town Hall 15 should be a hero, but Darian threw me off quite well. 21 months in a row. Okay, so Mara, sorry, you have missed a couple of months. 21 months in a row, that is the maximum amount. Clash with Style, you're a legend. 21 months, that is how long I've been an affiliate. Ralph, you keep going, man. Clash with Style, thank you so much, man. Clash with Style, I think on next week. I can't remember. You're not late, man. Sorry, Mara, you've been exposed. Sorry. It's okay. I still appreciate you. Alex, you're not late. Well, you're earlier than Adam. One had more pets. Adam is later, exactly. I've just messaged him saying, "Are you driving to my house?" No, he's stuck in traffic. Ah, I see what you're saying, Stoner. Yeah, so that's what Darian basically said. He said it was like, well, maybe we don't need to have a hero every odd number, but they have had it. I mean, every odd number town hall has had a new hero. I didn't think they needed the Royal Champion, and the Royal Champion is super strong as well. They added the Royal Champion and super strong. Who this? Clash Cookie, hello. Clash Cookie, one of the few people that I've met through Clash of Clans, like physically met. Yeah? He came, so, here's the story. So Clash of Cookie is really good friends with Clash of Style. And so the three of us were he was visiting Edinburgh, 3 of us were going to meet up. Alex cried off. So I ended up having to meet a guy who I talked to a few times, and I was like, I can't cancel on the man. Do you know what I mean? That's super rude. I don't really know this guy. Alex is really his friend. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay, I'll go along. Best night ever. Really nice guy. Absolute legend. Also, had never drank Iron Brew before. And was blown away. Gosh, okay, I'm so sorry. An air hero. Well, just air death on. But air's so strong already. But I see what you mean. Like a hero dragon. Super drag. Clash of Cookies now trying to work out how to get Iron Brew out to India, aren't they? Oh, here, Ralph's just sent a whole load in. Klaus Gaming, Galadon, Itsu's been on. Corrupt would be a great one. Corrupt's been on my mind to ask on for ages because Corrupt's doing amazing things at a totally different town hall level. He's found a niche in a different place. I'm gonna go back through. You're saving money to become an exclusive distributor. Nice, man. Here, Bad Stag dislikes Super Drags about as much as I dislike a Warden Walk. I hate Warden Walks, man. They're just so boring to commentate on. Which is basically, I think, when there was a big age of Warden Walks, Allow heroes to ride in siege machines. That's ridiculous, Jones. I love it. It'll never happen, but I love it as a concept. Could you imagine that? The king on the back. Warden Walks, Alex, I remember you and me commentating on Warden Walks going like... So the Warden is shooting. The healers are there. Took photos so you get to interview. People are amazing. It's all kind of inspired by Adam as well. Like the videos I used to love watching were when Adam did, what was it, Into the Clan Castle? And he'd interview members of the Clash community. He did them once in a blue moon. When was the last time he did a Joecast? NACC? I think, Alex? NACC, I think. Northern Arena Clash Championships. The competition that was a $10,000 prize pool, and it wasn't until week 2 that all the teams realised it was 10,000 Canadian dollars. Nobody realised. So, Canadian dollars not as strong. Nothing against Canada, but not as strong as not as strong as the as American dollar. You love my esports team update video. Thanks, man. I've been meaning to do another one of them. Team Mack versus Team Scotland. No, man. Alec, Clash of Style. Huge. Admins didn't even realise. Yeah. It was a bit like, oh, don't make fun of our Monopoly money. I wasn't saying, not casting aspersions. And do you know why I haven't made one recently? Too much has happened. See, if I was doing this full time, I'd make one every week. I'd give you a weekly update. But it's just not much time. Not enough time in the world. Because there's still people moving. I genuinely don't know where he is. Is he going to turn up at 9, do you think? You guys are all legends. Do you want to just keep asking me questions? I'm sorry, guys. It turns out Matt gets interviewed by Blame Adam. Actually turned into Matt gets interviewed by himself. I should. Oh wait. Ah. Oh. I should do the mirror thing. Wait. So if I do this. Is it this one? Can't remember. Is it this one? I think it's this one. No, it's not that. This one? Not that. High five scene, that's it. Right. Sorted. Hi, Mac. Hi. How's it going? Good. I'm good. How are you? Wait, I need to move the mic a little bit closer. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thanks for asking. So, what's up with you? Nothing much, you know, just chilling. Waiting for Adam to turn up. He's having a laugh. Also, high five. Cheers, man. Oh wait, it needs to start further back. Oh. Someone had the sound effect? There we go. Sorted. So, Cookie, I don't really know what I'm doing with the scene yet, but the plan is, look, I do this. Favourite cheese? I've already answered that one, D. My favourite cheese... So over here, so we can do this. My favourite cheese is... yeah, I'm interviewing myself now. This is how it works. My favourite cheese is either Wensleydale with cranberries, which I know is controversial, or... what other's my favourite cheese? What other cheeses? Come on, man, answer the question. Sorry, I'm working on it. There was another one. Oh, Parmesan. Have you guys ever eaten just Parmesan on its own? Just a block of Parmesan? I know it sounds disgusting. It's actually amazing. It's brilliant. What other questions we got? Who's my favourite team currently? MS Esports just now. Okay, for you. Okay. For me, I'm gonna go back to this screen, guys, so that I can see the chat. I'm fed up interviewing myself. My favorite team, Titan Global Gaming. Not Titan Global. Whoop. AE Titans. Sorry, name change. AE Titans, my favorite team at the moment. I stream them all the time. I stream them as much as I can. I absolutely love them. They're genuinely incredible. So, Alex, you say that's awful. So I went to... The reason I liked just a big lump of Parmesan was... Went to wine tasting night. Cheese and wine night. I was in the army. Yeah? Cheese and wine night. All the cheese is out. And, you know, different wines. Tasting all the different wines. And have a wee nibble now and again. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, I love the bouquet of this flowery wine or whatever. I don't know. All that sort of stuff. Alright? And then... we're finishing off the cheese at the end. I'm a big fan of food. And there was just Parmesan left. So I ate it. And it was nice. I liked it. Is this Mack 1 or Mack 2? This is Mack 1.5. Someone asked, what subjects do I teach in school? So I'm a teacher. I've only been a teacher a few years. I've had many jobs. I'm... Oh, that's a good one, Basang. I'll get that in a second. So, what was the question? So, I'm biology trained, if that makes sense. I'm a science teacher. What did the other job apply? It was another teaching job, yeah. Just a little bit closer. My job at the moment is temporary. Ralph, they're all over his Twitch is at this time of the night is probably mainly America sort of way, America and UK. So I teach children with additional support needs. So secondary age, but lower ability. Abilities right the way through. Like I've got some classes that have children that have got maybe like a mental capacity of like maybe a 6-month-old. So very different curriculum all the way through to very intelligent children, but have lots of sort of like emotional support and stuff that they require. It's the most rewarding job. So cool. It's great fun. Do the kids know I'm on Twitch? Some of them do. The ones that are aware of the internet and all that sort of stuff, they understand that. The only thing you know about biology is that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. True, man. True story. So, normally when I'm on YouTube, like one of the guys that drops into YouTube is one of my my students. So he loves YouTube. He's into all that sort of stuff. I find it really useful. So they like got Discord and got TikTok, and can be a little bit dangerous. So I'm able to tell them about like the dangers of like Discord and all that sort of stuff. Would I rather stream 2 teams you don't like to 100 people, or 1 team you do like to 20 people? I don't dislike any teams. Does that make sense? Hey, Adam's here. Only an hour late, Adam. Adam, about about 20 minutes ago, Clash of Style said, sorry, I'm late. It's alright, I'm sorted, man. Here we go. We'll bring it back up. Where is it? This one. Hi. Nice to meet you. You had to be later than Darian. Oh, is that what's going on? Oh, that's not the button I meant to hit. So Adam turns up when the show's about to finish. It's not about to finish. We're not going anywhere. So the last time that Adam was on the show, in fact, every time that Adam has been on the show, we've stopped streaming and then we've chatted for about an hour. At least. At least. Alex, it's the Stream Deck, man. You told me to buy a Stream Deck and you weren't wrong. It's the best thing ever. Stream Deck and StreamerBot are the best combination of things. Ba-da-ba-da. So this time keep stream on. Exactly. Chirag, hello man. Stream Deck is amazing, man. I have not worked out how to combine it with like Judo's here. Yeah, we're an hour in and the stream's just about to get started. Judo's still here, lurking. I don't know. Anyone got any more questions? Favourite town hall level, we will cover that in the quick questions, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the job I applied for was... like, working in working in a school for children with additional support needs. Raccoon, hello, man. 7 hours watching me, that's ridiculous, man. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so, but just a little bit closer to home. Been dropping trophies in Builder Base. Have you got the Destroy Walls challenge in clan games, have you? That's what Builder Base is for. That's why they can never remove Builder Base. What's the worst thing I did in school? I was a good kid at school. Didn't really get into trouble. One thing I did once. So in science was different back in my day. There was no safety. JJ, hello. Chirag, hello. When's Family Feud starting? Family Feud is starting. We've got 30 teams registered. I need to set the bracket for sometime this week. I'm going to put it in. King Assassin, hello as well. So yeah, so basically, you know crocodile clips? You know when you're doing electronics? And you get your crocodile clips and you clip them onto like wires, yeah, for making circuits. So no, JJ, you didn't. Adam's on his way, he's not quite here yet. Yeah, so I'm just interviewing myself, it's great. But anyway, basically what we did was we stuck the crocodile clip to the inside of our t-shirt. I said 5 seconds, and he went, I'm doing that, and he stuck it, crocodile clip, right on his nipple. And this guy was a hard guy, like proper like, oh, I'm a hard guy. The scream, you have never heard a scream with so much pain, and there was blood everywhere. Because he went, ah! Ripped it off, and yeah, it was yeah. Can't say no. I'm not allowed to, Stoner. Probably, to be honest, I'm probably not. But it was pretty. There was quite a lot of blood. Yeah, you'll never guess who it is, guys. You were not expecting a story of that caliber. It was good, man. Here we go. We've got a call. Oh, I think I've just done it as a call. Wait. I need to turn on my camera. There we go. Turned on my camera. We've got a pop out. Put that over here. Here he is. And what will we do now? Let's go to this screen. Let's see if he's automatically in here. I've just gone to the same screen. He's behind me. Can you see that, guys? Can you see Adam is hiding behind me? Oh, we can hear you as well, because I can hear your keyboard, Adam. So you. If I put not that one. Now I can hear the music and no one else can, so I should probably stop singing along to it. There we go. Is it this one? I need to sort out your green screen, Adam. We can all see you on stream now, by the way, man. Can you hear me? Don't know if you can hear me. Is that really Adam? Adam, say something. I don't think Adam can hear me. I don't think he can hear me. He's got a new green screen though. That's I need to work out how to turn on my mic so that he can hear me. It should work. Ba-ba-ba-bow. Unmute on Discord. Hello?
Ah, I can hear you. That's fantastic. Can you hear me?
I was unmuted, but I remuted and unmuted you again, and then it worked. So, sorry. Hello.
No, that's good.
I've got you. I'm just going to clean up your... we're going to add a filter so that your green screen is missing. It looks like a new green screen, Adam. Is that new?
No, same one. I've been playing with the lights, trying to make them better.
It's maybe what it is. It's maybe brighter. Right, let's... Oh. There we go.
It's a professional job, that's what this is.
Look at that. Give him a shave. I can't give him a shave. Not unless he dyes his beard green. Imagine if he did that. That'd be incredible. Anyway.
It's been suggested.
How are you doing, man?
Really good. Yourself?
I'm good. I was interviewing myself there, mate. I don't know if you saw that. I had the mirror on.
I didn't see a thing. I was a bit stressed, I'll be honest.
So
I'm not a very patient person, and traffic is the absolute killer for me.
Yeah. He tweets like, "Who's the guy on the left?" So the viewers' question, guys. We're going to try and make it work. I can definitely bring them up, but I'm not sure if we'll get. We've got D, who's maybe going to try and make it, but try and make the questions come up as well, but it might not work. But yeah, I don't know. Like, how do we do this? Do you host now? Do I shut up? I need to shut up, don't I?
Well, ideally, one of your moderators can collect the questions and then just DM me them on Discord. Oh, look at you going deep with the Iron Brew. I genuinely, I was going to stop off on the way home and get some Iron Brew, but obviously didn't have a chance. It was on my list of things to do. So sorry I've disappointed you with that.
But we should have set up a prediction to see if you were actually going to turn up, because people were like, he's definitely winding you up. He's not even coming. He's definitely going to be a no-show.
Well, what was Darian? About 15, 20 minutes late?
Yeah. And I mean, he gave us 25 merch codes, so, you know.
I was going to give you a can of Iron Brew, so I felt that was better, but, you know, what can we do?
Brilliant.
Right, so welcome to Inside the Clan Castle. Oh, no, wait, sorry, wrong show.
Definitely where I got the inspiration from, man. I was saying that earlier on. Like, the Inside the Clan Castle was... So it was Crunk that first suggested doing this, and I was like, I always really enjoyed watching Adam's interviews with people. So yeah, it was blatant robbery, man.
Well, hopefully this won't go into the final cut, but I absolutely loved Inside the Clan Castle. They were my favourite streams of the week, but there were a lot of preparation, and the reality is they weren't massive for viewers either. So it was a personal thing that I loved doing, but in terms of success, perhaps it wasn't the greatest play. That's just being honest about it.
Well, I love them. I love watching them. I think that's the thing. I think I'm maybe not a typical YouTube viewer. I enjoy different styles of things.
If I'm being honest, if you weren't doing them, I would have started them again. I miss them that much, but you're doing such a good job with them. There was no, I mean, there is limits as to how many people can be interviewed, and I noticed a couple of other people are trying to do little bits of stuff with them as well, and it's like, you don't want to oversaturate something.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of flattery. I remember saying this to Alex Clash of Styles when he was like, Alpha League was kind of like the first of its kind of format, and then other variations that would come along, and one competitions are all over the place now. And I was like, well, that's because it's something that's successful, so people are going to try and take that and improve it and change it and tweak it. And yeah, that's JJ over on YouTube. Adam, you won't be able to see all of these, so I'll tell you, he says, man, I'm telling you, Adam is the best Clash host/streamer of all time. So there you go. Nothing but love for you, see?
That's me on my alt, clearly. That's one of my burners.
I see how it is. He's on the mobile.
But just picking up on something you said there, I mean, it is one of those things on any game, but especially Clash of Clans, when somebody comes up with a good idea, if it's a successful idea, it's going to grow and other people are going to use it. And I think that it's really important, if any casters or streamers are watching this, it's totally cool to do that, but just always acknowledge where you got the idea from. Like, obviously, I flattered Powerbang and Jake and even Eclipse. I flattered them a lot because a lot of the reason I got to where I was because of the groundwork that they did before I even started. And obviously, nowadays, some people have taken things that I've done or that other people have done and gone further forwards with them. And I don't think there's ever a problem with people using good ideas. It helps the community. But I just think that it's just an element of respect, just to say, I watched this guy do it, and I thought, man, I could take that even further. Just that little bit of acknowledgement changes everything.
Yeah, and that's you were I'm talking about you a little bit now, sorry, but in going over old ground. But when I started these, it was during that period when you had made a very, very public, I'm away from Clash now, and now you're back. So, and that was there's a gap there. There's something that I enjoy watching that's missing now, and it was actually always meant to be much more of this was going to be like a podcast, like regular people coming along and chatting about. But actually, what it ended up turning into, almost by accident, quite quickly, was just interviews with different personalities and just meeting different people from the world of Clash. And we've had unknown people and really well-known people and clan families and esports orgs and Darian.
Well, let's not exhaust that because there's questions based on that. So we'll come back to that in a few minutes. Let me know when you're ready to go main.
Let's go, man. Let's go. I've already started as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, no problem. I'll welcome everybody then to the Mack report with the chairs reversed. I was very excited to do this. Me and Mack have been speaking about it for nearly 2 months now, and he's been thinking about it for even longer, like the idea of him being on the other side of the desk. I was delighted to be involved to do it. Obviously, I love doing the shows. I love what he's doing with the Mack report, so very excited to be here. And the best part is I get to do your introduction. I have just shamelessly lifted your introduction because you ask the same questions to all the casters and even the non-casters. You ask it to the players, to the events, the orgs, everybody. So now we get to hear your answers to these questions. Yeah. And so we'll kick off. We'll get straight into it. When did you start playing?
So I had to go and research this because I'm never 100% sure, but it's September 2014, and the reason I know that is because and I've told this story before, but in October 2014, the Halloween obstacles came out, the little gravestone. Now my base doesn't have a gravestone on it because I deleted it because I was like a Town Hall 5 and needed elixir to upgrade a wizard or build a wall or something stupid and pointless. And I got rid of it and it gave me a whole elixir. I was like, oh, cool. And then another one spawned and I was like, awesome. So I got rid of that one as well. And then no more came. That was it. Now there's millions of obstacles. You get 30 obstacles and you can actually do that. But my base is such a mess because I now panic and never get rid of anything because of that. So it was August, September 2014. Around about then.
And that will be, a couple of months after war started? Is that, am I on my correct time scale there?
Yeah, so it was I think April 2014 was when sort of Clan War League, not Clan War League, when Clan War started. And then there was a big TV campaign. There was the cartoons on the telly, the wizard with the bunny and all that sort of stuff. And I'd started to drop where I was commuting back and forward on the train. And I needed something to do that was kind of pick up, do a little bit, ignore it. And that was perfect for that. And Clan Wars, Style saying there, Clan Wars was a huge update. It was brilliant because I also picked up a couple of other games around at the same time. I picked up a Star Wars base build at the same time. But it just had build your base. It didn't have that sort of Clan Wars element. The Clan Wars was huge. It's the thing that's made it so different. And the thing that's kept it going. The development of that Clan Wars element.
It's interesting you mentioned that because that is going to link into a question later on. To me, I break the game down into eras. So there was the before Clan Wars, which was when everybody was just farming, a little bit of legends and trophy pushing. Yeah. The game was so new that people loved it. People hadn't got bored of it yet. It was exciting. Then we went into Clan Wars. Then we went into Arranged Wars. And then finally into this esports era. To me, I think there's 4 eras for Clash of Clans. So you got involved very much in the second one. So you weren't there for the very beginning.
Yeah, I wasn't true OG. No. I was I was sort of, when I turned up, there was Town Hall 8 used to be the max Town Hall. When I started playing, Town Hall 10, I think, was max. And was max for a long time.
And did you mentioned the TV adverts, is that what got you into it?
It was what sort of made me like look at it, if that makes sense. It was the thing that like made me go, oh, okay, I'll pick it up and give this a go. But it was that motivation for someone to do on the train that I could do some things to, and then ignore it for the rest of the day, and then on the train on the way back, it'd be like, oh, the 6-hour build has happened, and then it just like you're doing like, oh, I need more resources, and then lunch break you're playing it, and then actually in between emails, and yeah, just constantly playing it.
What's interesting about that is that you straight away said it though that you tried a couple of other games, and I mean, we all do it, especially the players that play a lot and that are quite good at the game. Yeah. They all say, "Oh, I hate Clash. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have that." But like you said, you played a couple of other games, and when you play other games, you realise not only how good Clash is today, but back then especially. I mean, it blew every other game out of the water. Yeah. It was so clean. The production quality was great. It felt responsive when you played it. It had a lot of very, ticking those check boxes to revolutionise mobile gaming. It was awesome. So, favourite Town Hall?
So, there's two different ways of looking at this.
Just so the viewers know as well, like you can't possibly be surprised about these questions, as these are the ones that you ask everybody. Yeah. So these are going to be perfect answers.
I know these ones. Yeah. Town Hall 14 is. I love playing like the max Town Hall level, and like getting to a max base was kind of. It turns out I'm actually quite a mad farmer. Turns out, and I love. I didn't actually realize that about myself until I maxed my base, and then I was like, I don't want to push in Legends League that much. I actually just wanted to. I've got no reason to raid anymore. I wanted to get enough loot to farm. So maxing my base and all that sort of stuff seems to be like the thing that I actually enjoy. I wasn't even aware of myself, if that makes sense. I love watching other people play Clan Wars, play esports. I'm not very good at it. I'm not. In fact, I think you're very similar, Adam. You've said that before. You're like, no one wants to watch me play, and it's like, yeah, it's like, well, people do want to watch me play to see me hit badly because it's like comedy. Like last CWL, I got 2 1-stars. My favourite Town Hall level, I think, like going back, like I've got a max Town Hall 9. I love Town Hall 9, especially when Town Hall 10 was the max level. If that makes sense, it's that it was when the game started to get really complicated. You had like queen charges and this sort of multi-stage attacks just started coming into it a little bit. Town Hall 8 a little bit. But Town Hall 8, you always could just like spam dragons, and now it's maybe slightly different. Town Hall 9 now is you can just get rid of all the air defenses and just throw dragons across the base, so it's not quite the same. But yeah, I think they're probably my two. I'm being cheeky. I'm taking 2 answers, so there you go.
That's okay. That's fine. You're doing really well here, because you've just given me something there about what do you do when you're max 14, and we will be revisiting that later on, because again, it's a big topic that hasn't been discussed. So I thought it would be a really good one to bring back up with you. However, we've got a structure, guys. We're going to stick to it. We will come back to these points though. Favorite strategy? What's the troop? What's the strategy? What makes Clash of Clans attacks for you?
Can I go back to I loved when bats were introduced to the game. Drag bat I loved that strategy. It was my.
You mean after they got nerfed? Please tell me you mean after they got nerfed.
Like, so Town Hall 12, I mean, well, when they were first, yeah, but that's like what they do with everything. It's like when miners were first introduced, it was like, oh, just run your face across the screen and wait, that's Mack.
The 10 V12s with bats though were a bit special.
Yeah, and they just absolutely, but like drag bat, Town Hall 12 drag bat was just. It was the meta of these sort of 4-corner bases, which were so hard to hit. But when I unlocked Dragbat, and I worked out how to basically attack those bases, and I loved hitting those bases. They were the bases I'd go for, and it would be a big farm wars, but they were the bases I'd be like, I'll take that base, I know how to beat that base. And I used to love doing Dragbat. So I've got a little bit, especially the one that I enjoy watching the most is just like it's Gandalf does a brilliant one. Disable Camille does has a slightly less strong hit rate on it, but just a Sui Lalo is just, I can't do it. I can't even Sui my heroes in and make them go the right way. And Gandalf he drops Barbarian on one side, Queen on the other. Queen will always walk to the town hall. She's like locked onto it. He throws the RC through the middle, and he might throw in like maybe some zaps, but probably not. He'll probably then just he'll get like some value, and then he'll just lallo the rest of the base, and it's just insane. And I don't understand how he does it. So that's my favourite. Yeah.
One of the things to pick up on your Sui point as well is, like, don't get me wrong, back in the day, 3 years ago, whatever, before esports, people used to plan these for several hours and you could see some fantastic Suis. Now these guys are knocking up some of these attacks in 15, 10, even 8 minutes for that first attack. And that, to me, that's what makes it insane. Yes, the quality's there, but the speed that they can do it now is just the way that they think about these bases. It's glorious.
I think you've got so Gandalf and Requires are kind of like that. They quite often hit first, and it's just Legends has been really good for them. I think in terms of like how they hit this. Like, this is the army I use it in Legends. I see a base, I instantly form a plan in my head, and I work out to attack it. So that's for a first hitter. That's brilliant.
No,
we
absolutely.
See a live Mack versus Adam 1v1.
Oh my days. The 1-star percentage decides it. Right, and now that I know you love this question, this is actually a link to a question later on as well. But where did your name come from? And I'm going to ask it straight away on the end of this. Is this your favourite question of the show? Because I know you always really enjoy asking this one.
It's the one that surprises me the most. So the amount of times you ask, so like Marnell, I just thought that was Marnell's name. It's a Spanishy sounding name. I just thought that was his name. And he's like, I was bullied at school, and that's what the kids called me, so I decided to own it. And I'm like, what? That's insane. It's like, and it's just like, so it's like revelations like that, and you're like, that's not your name. What? So it's like things like that are just really cool. And then you get like the odd ones, but I mean, you can get comedy out of it as well. Like Shide95, that's my name and my date of birth, my year of birth. I'm like, okay, man, that's the most boring answer I've ever had. Luckily, Mara was on with Shide and had like the most extravagant, brilliant story about Star Wars and all this sort of stuff. And and Mara saved that entire interview. I hope Shide's watching.
Did Mara admit though that her name is actually it's Jar Jar Binks? She's just changed it around a little bit. She tries to hide that fact, but I know that it's from Jar Jar Binks. That's where she got that one from.
So it's a Star Wars character, but yeah, it's
absolutely. Don't let, if she tells you otherwise, she's not telling the truth. So let's get to your name then. Mackenzro.
So my name came from this. I know I'm going to show my age here, man. When my first ever email address was created. Well, in fact, not my first ever. My first ever email address was skills to pay the bills with a number 2, and at yahoo.com. And that doesn't exist anymore, that email address. And,
Yahoo.com.
Yahoo, when Yahoo was a thing. Remember that? Remember those days?
I don't remember that, no.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember. Yeah. So, that was, so basically I had to create a better email address than, for like jobs and all that sort of stuff. So, Sky they smashed my last name and my first name together. My first name is Ross. That's where the role comes from, and my last name begins with Mack. So, I'll maybe not dox myself fully, but yeah. So Mackenzro was basically smashed together, and it's not an email address anymore as well. But Mackenzro at sky.com was my email address for years, and I started using that on like my gamer tag and all that sort of stuff. And there's a bit of me that maybe thinks I should have just called myself Mack, but actually Mack's important. Like Mackenzro's unusual enough that it's not being used by anyone else. Mack, there's hundreds of Macks. So Nightkeeper says I still use Yahoo.
You can take this to the bank. This is my bit of advice for you. When, and I say when, I think I'm right in saying when, but when you get your creator code, make sure it's code Mack, not code Mackenzro, because the number of people that will get it wrong is it's noticeable. The simpler the better when it comes to a creator code. I would love a creator code, and do you know what I do every so often? It's stupid, isn't it? I'll go into creator codes and I'll just type in Mack, and it comes up not available. I'm like, yes, no one's taking it, because Mack's pretty common. Like, it could easily happen that someone could come along and use code Mack, and it becomes a thing. So there's a bit of
worry there. But yeah, I just occasionally, and then I'll put in like a proper code like Mack Gaming was saying use code Lexnos when he was on, and he had these incredible graphics of a bit of paper saying use code Lexnos. So yeah, or Ninja. I think I'm using Ninja this month. So there you go. Anyway.
So we know about the names. Good stuff. Let's find out more about you then. So we talked about, obviously, you got involved via the adverts, which is quite unusual. I think a lot of people get involved because somebody else gets them into it or they see it on the App Store. You went for the proper adverts. Good stuff. You started off with your Town Hall 2. You followed the tutorial. And now here you are, doing the talk shows, doing the competitive casting, organising events. I mean, you're involved in everything. Let's talk about the story from A to B. What happened in a nutshell? Where were the big changes? I mean, you've been playing now 7 years. There must have been some big events in that time. What defined your Clash of Clans career?
So, when I was a Town Hall 5, I think Town Hall 4 you can start joining a clan, yeah? And I saw, and it's like maybe like first couple of weeks or something like that. I don't know, around about then. I bounced around a couple of different clans, and then I was like, "This is rubbish. These clans are they're all just terrible clans."
Was this global chat?
Yeah, so it's like just sort of like
that's all I needed to hear.
When like it just suggests a clan to you, just go, "Oh, I'll join that one. Oh, I'll join that one." And I was like, "This is rubbish." So I went on the forums and looked for a clan, and I found a family clan called Sparrowmans, and I was a little bit put off because they were like, you had to apply to join, which I was a bit like, oh, that's a bit, but okay, maybe I don't understand this. And I joined, and I was in a clan called Sparrow Goggy, and I was there for years and years. It's still going. I think the clan's quite small now, and I was a leader. I was the leader, and I was a co-leader for quite a long time as well. And so yeah, I did that so I was there probably from Town Hall 5 all the way through to like maybe Town Hall 13, 14. And at 14, I basically, the leaders would all start to move around and all that sort of stuff and move on to different places. And there was new people that were there, but it was difficult. And I'd moved more into the esports scene, and so I moved in. I'm kind of loosely associated with Unfair Warfare now. They put up with me coming and going, but mainly, I don't know if it's like you, Adam, like, the amount of times that my account's not in a clan because it was in a clan before, and then they've kicked me out because I forgot to leave, and so I'm just kind of like hanging in the ether somewhere. And then I log back in, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go and join this clan now to stream their war. And so that's sort of how I bounce at the moment. That's like, that's a rapid history of like the clans I've been associated with. How did I get into the streaming side of things?
Yeah, that's the other quick, because obviously it's almost like it becomes train tracks. They kind of run parallel, and at some point it just sort of veers off a little bit with your media career. So how did that arrive?
So I'm quite enjoy being creative and all that sort of stuff. I actually don't like public speaking or anything like that. I'm not that good at it, which is why occasionally I'm bright red at the moment and I'm a little bit warm. But actually, it's because like, do you know what I mean? It's like I get embarrassed really easily and all that sort of stuff. So
since I've no Iron Brew, by the way, Coca-Cola.
I tell you what. Rivals. I think they live in a different...
That's the war that we should have. Coca-Cola versus Iron Brew. That's the. I can imagine the copyright strikes for it, but
imagine if those sponsors came in, that'd be insane. But what was I talking about? So I was basically like, we did farm wars, and that was all we did. We just like random spin, and then like doing like arranged wars back then was like, you had to get the spreadsheet out, and it was very complicated. So it was difficult to do anything but that. But we were really good. We had quite often have like a 24 win streak and all that sort of stuff, and then you'd hit an engineer's clan and it would all go wrong. So I was like, guys, we're good. We should have like a YouTube channel like these other clans. We should be telling people about us, and no one wanted to do it. And I was like, right, fine, I'll do it. So my Mackenzro Gaming was originally called Tales from Sparrow because it was Sparrow Agoggy, and it had just like, this is like just like screen recorders and all that sort of stuff, and like this is the war here, this is how it happened. And I did that for maybe about 6 to 8 months, and then it just kind of died out. It was the classic. It was just for my clan. I had about 60 subscribers, and it was people that were in the clan or a little bit associated with the clan. And they would watch the reviews of their wars and see if their attacks were in and all that sort of stuff. And then I changed jobs, and I just sort of I let it sort of slide, and it just sort of went dormant for a little while. And then lockdown hit, and people were constantly asking us.
Sorry, just to clarify on that, when lockdown hit, were you furloughed? Were you sent home?
Yeah. So I'm a teacher, and the first lockdown, we were. I was teaching from home, but I teach children with additional support needs, so they don't do internet calls or Zoom calls or anything like that. It was like, here's some work, don't stress about it, because for a lot of my children, a lot of my students, school happens at school, and to change the rules and try and make school happen at home was like explosions at home and all that sort of stuff. So there was a lot of like just phoning parents and being like, don't worry about it, just do what you can. But it did mean that I had like lots of free time. I spent a lot of time basically phoning parents. That was basically what my first lockdown, second lockdown, we were in school. We didn't have a second lockdown. But sorry, that by the by. So people were asking, where does the name Sparta Wagogi come from? And there's like a big long history about it. So I made a video, and I thought it was quite funny, and I spent ages on it. I thought it was quite good. I did it all with like my new iPad that I just bought, that I got myself for my Christmas. And like that was the editing that I did, was I edited it on my iPad. It's really janky editing, it's really messy. It's still on the channel. And it got like, I gained like 100 subscribers on YouTube, and I was like, what's going on? And so I started just doing a couple more, and we did a couple. So I started recording attacks. I just put music over, and just almost like, if you come across this base, this is how to beat it. Which then I wound up on burnt base quite a lot, which I had no idea that burnt base was a thing. But that's essentially what I was trying to do, was create a catalogue of these things. Man, I'm waffling on. And so that was sort of that was where that all came from. It's sort of like, and it just snowballed from there. And then,
but I was going to say, how did it go from there to you being live on Twitch? Because that is quite a step.
Yeah. So we put together a 5v5 team for a a Clash with Joe tournament. It was called Reach for the Stars, and it was everyone had to hit up. So there was a Town Hall 13, down to Town Hall 9, and the 9 had to hit the 10 and all the way up, and the 14, which was my account, had to hit the 9, and that was just like, wasn't even really a thing. And so it was this hitting up thing, and I basically messaged on Discord and said, do you mind if I stream this? Just my side of it. And they were like, yeah, you can't stream the final, Kenny's going to do that. And it was like for $100 or something like that. It was just a wee community thing that Kenny was doing, and it was brilliant. And then I basically streamed that, and it was really good, and people tuned in, and it was really good fun. We had everyone on voice, and we were just chatting. And then I decided, and someone said, oh, we should do that again, we should do another one of them. And I think we did a little Gordita tournament after that. And then after that, they were like, we want to do more of these. And I was like, well, I could do that. I can run one of them. It's easy enough to do a bracket. And they said, oh, if you're going to do that, you should do it on Twitch. And that's where I started just doing friendly challenge tournaments and all that sort of stuff. And people just hitting each other and working through a bracket and just playing like that. And then I was looking for more stuff to cover, and I just sort of found esports, which is like almost an extension of friendly challenges. And then I found Alpha League. That was another one that I found, which was and I had this weird conversation with this other guy who turned out was also Scottish, called Alex. I was like, hi, can I get the streamer role in your server? And he's like, what server? I'm like, oh, this hasn't started well. It was a really hostile what server? And I was like, sorry. So in Alpha League, I saw your thing, it looks quite good. Is there any chance I could stream it? And then he'd obviously gone off and checked, and he basically said, oh, I'm Scottish too. And I was like, what? Because I used to, in fact, possibly still do, on some channels in some places, have Scotland's #1 Clash of Clans streamer, because I genuinely didn't think anyone else in Scotland played the game. And now I've met so many people. But not only did I meet other people, I met Clash with Style, who's got like 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. And here's me sitting with 200 subscribers on YouTube and about 500 on Twitch going, I'm the biggest streamer in Scotland. Biggest Clash of Clans streamer in Scotland. So that's always been a rivalry that we've joked about. But we're good mates. It's not real rivalry, honest. And yeah, and then it's just kind of snowballed from there. That's sort of how it's worked. I've waffled on, man. That was a long answer.
All right, let me go into a nice close question then. What is your favourite thing to stream? You do Family Feud, you do the big awards, you do the Mack reports, you do the esports, you do all these different things. Just dead simple, which is the one that you really get your teeth into, and which is the one that we might see more of you doing in 2022?
Oh, that's a good question. What was my favourite thing? I like doing things that are different, if that makes sense. So I love streaming esports wars. Esports wars. It's my staple. But for me, there's other people doing that, and that's why quite quickly I sort of went down a route of right now, but like channel point redemptions and all that sort of stuff. So I watch non-clash streamers, and that's the sort of stuff that they're doing. I'm like, that's good fun. I want people to want to be able to watch the war if they want to watch the war, but also to be able to like have fun and be entertained. And I spend most of my time chatting to the chat because I get distracted by it. Like I'm finding it really hard to not talk to chat right now, but I should be talking to you. That's the hardest thing with interviewing people, is that not interrupting the guest and sort of saying, "Oh, so and so's just said this," or "Oh, I just got a follow," or something like that. And that was the thing. That's the thing I enjoy most. So Family Feud we came up with on stream. I said, wouldn't it be cool if Unfair Warfare Family and EYG took on each other? It could be called Family Feud. In the UK, the game show's called Family Fortune, but it doesn't sound as scary. And sort of like, and doing that rivalry sort of thing. And we thought about like, oh, it'd be cool if we made it a tournament. And it was just all just chatting on stream. And it was a big 50v50 was the original idea. And then the chat was like, that'd be too difficult. Can't get that many accounts. It'd have to be mixed breakdown. That's got hard. So we then went down to this sort of like 20v20 sort of format. These are just chatting streams with the occasional clash. Alex, that is jokingly how I've described myself. I am a just chatting stream with clash in the background.
It is fascinating how me and you are the exact opposite on that front. My stream is so minimal, literally. I mean, I have the war and me just in the corner. If it was up to me, I wouldn't even have the face cam. I'm happy without it. Whereas you, I mean, you've got all these funky things. They can turn you upside down. They can split you up. They can put disco lights on you. I mean, your chat control your stream. It's awesome. And I genuinely envy it. I really like some of the fun things you've got on there. You definitely build a lot more interaction. It is... But they must have taken quite a bit of time to build.
Yeah, they do, but I enjoy... So when I first started, I enjoyed learning about making the overlays and all that sort of stuff. But this overlay, for example, this was made by Nexus. This was made by Clash of Style. Because I can do it, and I'm alright at it, but I'm not very good at it. Whereas, and so it's like actually realising when it's worth, now that I'm in the luxury of being able to have a little bit of money coming in for it, when it's worth sort of just paying someone to do it, if that makes sense. So like the one where all the cans fall down, I knew how to do I knew what I wanted to do, where like the camera flips over and the cans fall down, but I didn't know how to animate that. So I spoke to Evil Tweed, and he animated that for me, and then he added that extra bit where he added the can hitting my head. That was his idea, and it's so good. And every time I watch it, it makes me laugh, and it's just ridiculous that it makes me laugh. So yeah, so it's about like sort of working out what things you like doing yourself. I watch loads of YouTube videos, but most of them are like tutorials on like how to make YouTube videos, and then I never make a YouTube video, or how to do stuff to your Twitch stream. When I decided that I was going to stick with Twitch and really focus on it, I decided that I wanted to try and embrace some of the things that you can do on Twitch that you can't do on YouTube, and it's things like channel point redemptions and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and for all you people on YouTube, because I know we're going out on YouTube, just cover your ears for a second, earmuffs. But Twitch is it's built for streaming. It has all the best features on it. I understand people have to use YouTube in certain places and certain countries and all that kind of stuff, but Twitch is it's the one. I've just lost. I can feel my subscriber count just going down as I'm saying this. But
so StreamerBot is the thing that I use to make Twitch. It's the thing that controls all these things happening. They've just brought out an update that is they can interact with YouTube, so I don't know if that will change everything. That might be a total game changer. But the Clash community, particularly on Twitch, is just insane. It's very small, or not very small. It's not tiny, but it's perfectly formed. Does that make sense? It's
Yeah,
just
it does.
like it's this really active, supportive community, and the amount of people you have that will turn on your stream, and even if they're not chatting to you, they'll just put the stream on and walk away, or have several tabs open. And actually, that's brilliant because that's support. It's just that support that they don't have to do. They don't have to provide, but they do. It's so good. JG over on YouTube's like saying rip YouTube. Yeah, YouTube is.
But no,
I love YouTube. YouTube is where the real potential growth is. But Twitch is so interactive. It's so much fun.
And it's fascinating with Twitch as well because everybody talks about, League of Legends, 100,000 viewers, World of Warcraft, 40,000 viewers, Fortnite, 50,000 viewers. And they're like, Clash is really small. Okay, fair enough when you compare it to them. But then you can go to the other end of the scale as well. There are so many games that are as big as Clash or bigger and yet have less than 50 viewers in their Twitch directory. Like, I don't think people realize that, it might not be the big PC games, but it's also a lot bigger than a lot of other games. It's nowhere near at the bottom. It's very much in the middle, I'd say. I'd say there's a very active and very vibrant crowd on Twitch, and I don't think it's anywhere near as dead as some people try and make it out to be. Yes, when you go and compare it to, a League of Legends worldwide tournament, we don't quite compete on those numbers. Yeah. When you go and compare it to so many other games, especially mobile games, and especially, like, games, not PC games, basically, like, Clash does very, very well.
I think if you look at, like, so if you go on Twitter and you look at, like, small streamer sort of tags and all that sort of stuff, you've got people that are struggling with, like really small numbers. I'm not, if you're a Clash of Clans streamer and you've got really, I'm sorry, that's not what I mean by that. I'm not trying to be disparaging, but, like, I hit affiliate so quickly. It blew me away. I didn't, and I've seen people, like Bad Sag's just done it. He's just started streaming. Tony, I think, has just hit affiliate. It happens so quickly because actually you've got this community of Clashers who just want to support other people streaming, and it's incredible. And that 3 average viewers is so difficult for some streamers in some games to achieve. It's mind blowing. Whereas actually, like with Clash stuff, it's I don't know. It just seems to be really there. And if you're sitting in the chat going, I don't have 3 average viewers, I'm sorry. That's not meant to be a slight, but I found in my experiences that it's a really supportive community. It's insane. It's been really cool. So.
Supportive with the other creators as well. Somebody was telling me about, what game was it? I think it might be Counter-Strike, where basically, so if me and you are Counter-Strike streamers, and I don't know you, and I'm like, because obviously I've got my little verified badge, I shouldn't say hello to you in stream, because that will make people ask about me and maybe come to my stream, and that will offend you. Like, on Clash, there's none of that. Like, if somebody comes by, I remember when I started streaming, and like the first time Powerbank came and said hello in my raid, the first time Jake came and said hello, I was buzzing, I was so happy it was untrue. And it's those moments, and then you get a host or a raid or a shout out when you go to somebody else, like, if you pop by on Lexnos's stream and he'll shout you out or whatever. And it's like that community. I don't think people realize that doesn't happen on other games. Yeah, if me and you are good friends, I might shout you out. But if you're just another Fortnite streamer, I wouldn't shout you out. That's not how Fortnite does it or how other games do it. And I think, there's a lot of positives on Clash that people don't always realise until you see other games.
I remember my first big raid, and actually I've had huge raids since then. But I had I was doing a friendly challenge tournament, and there wasn't many people. It was maybe like 9 people or something in chat, and it was really slow. And I was feeling really like, what am I doing? What is the point of this? And Rocky Clash Bastion raided me with 50 people, and it blew my mind. The fact that he had noticed me, because I wasn't like in his streams or anything. I didn't really hang out on Twitch beforehand or anything. I did everything wrong. Yeah, I did all wrong, if that makes sense. And this guy, this legend of Clash of Clans, raided me, and I didn't believe it was him. And same with like when Clash of Clans said hello in my chat once, I thought it was someone with a fake account. I didn't believe it was Clash of Clans, and it just sort of like those things blow my mind. Like 50 people coming in my stream is just like, whoa. like chat was moving so fast I couldn't keep up. It was just insane. It was just like, what's going on? And all these follows coming up, and it was brilliant. It's just like that buzz is just brilliant.
And yeah, and it's so rare in other games as well. Anyway, you're very good at pushing on tangents. I do it as well. Let's get back to the script. I've got a list. I've got a setup that we're doing, and you've already mentioned it already. So let's dive into that, because one of the things I credit people for a lot is when they do something original. Like we talked earlier about the fact that a lot of good ideas, everybody uses. Of course they do, because they're good ideas. But what's great is when people bring their own ideas into it. And a lot of the times you see people do that when they get to be pretty big, pretty famous. Whereas you started the other way. Like your idea was very much built into how you started streaming, which I think is fascinating. Like with the Family Feud, that has been like a staple of what you've been doing since the start. It's unique. People love it. And I know that this season, maybe because of some of these Mack reports, maybe there's been a bit more exposure in there. But, you're going to take what you get. But Family Feud, tell me more about it. Tell anybody that's watching that doesn't know what it is. Because like I said, it's one of my favourite things on Clash right now.
So when I first started out with War, I think it's something that you'll find lots of streamers do, is you first start out with Wars, like you take whatever you can get, if that makes sense. And that seems really hard. And I'm not like the war, so like I used to do like long format wars, and so like MLCW in the long format stuff and all that. And it'd be like, oh, it's the last 2 hours of a 24-hour war. And you'd just be sitting there chatting to chat and just sort of but what I loved about that was that it was much more like a traditional war where you had people scouting and dipping, or maybe not dipping as much in competition stuff, but doing scouts and then like taking their time over bases and all that sort of stuff. Not very streamable, because you had this huge war where most of the attacks had happened, or they all then happened right the last 10 minutes, and you're sat there going, I've only got one iPad. This is impossible. So I wanted to do something that was a bit bigger scale, and then, like that's what I talked about. The original idea was those two teams. The first one we did had 12 fans in it, 12 families in it, and it was insane that I got that many people. It was just like, this is mental. And I just basically reached out to whatever families I could think of and just asked them. It's 20v20 2-hour wars, because I wanted it to be manageable, if that makes sense, and streamable, and quite intense. But I also didn't want to make it like, I hate when like two teams attack at the same time in a 5v5 and then, they've lost a star because of that. Let's work out who's wrong. I hate that people lose a star or get deducted points for something that's basically, it's only to benefit the viewers. It's not actually affecting the gameplay, if that makes sense. Mystery
controversial, but go on.
Yeah. So I really dislike I think that the star deductions need to be for like stuff that's like not fair. Well, maybe not even not fair play, but do you know what I mean? Like blatant ignoring of the rules. I have had one team in Family Feud who just clearly hadn't read the rules and did all their attacks in the first 20 minutes, and I was raging. Because I then sat there for 2 hours going and just moaning, but luckily they lost, so it was fine. Then
justice was done.
Yeah, exactly. And that was what I was trying to sort of achieve. I wanted that intensity of esports, but with none of the admin, because I was basically doing it on my own. So none of the sort of admin pressure of like people contesting and all that sort of stuff. And that's been part of the idea of why I didn't want to have really prize money. In season 2, I did try. I asked a couple of people about prize money, we just sponsored it, and then I kind of realised that I hated asking people for money, so I didn't, so I stopped, and we just kept it as a community thing. A couple of people in chat actually said, just keep it as a community event, it keeps it kind of sort of like different again. Burnt Base have been amazing. I want to have something, so I decided to put up, I offered to pay them for 3 months Alliance subscriptions worth about $150 to Burnt Base as a prize. It was something that like an alliance could use. It would be because the other thing is, because it's 20v20, if you get $500 together, it's like, well, that's like 20 quid each or something. It's rubbish. It's not even really worth the price. It's like, why even bother? So
it's more effort to pay pallets to them than it is to actually
get it. Exactly. So, but I thought, right, okay, if I could get the Burnt Base thing, that'd be really good. And I approached Burnt Base and they were like, no, we'll just give you that. And I'm like, okay, that's quite cool. And Clash
That
Champs
works.
support with like the prizes at the end of the year. So it's been awesome. And that's a like, community thing once again, where they just like just sort of do it, yeah. And Sam was saying we don't play Family Feud for prize anyway. Exactly. It's the main prize is clout. So season 1 champions, someone asked earlier on, season 1 champion, I remember, there's only been, this is the 4th season, but season 1 champions were Golden X. Season 2 champions were Unfair Warfare, and season 3 champions were, well, the final was between Inquisition, which is mental, who I bullied GK Tim into it when he was on the Mack Report, but Inquisition and LP4 Clash Champs, like Proc and Clash Champs combined. And that was just an insane final, and Proc won it. But that was just like, it was mental, and yeah, it's awesome and brilliant.
I'm still part of LP4, just if you're wondering. I still maintain that tag.
Yeah.
I'm taking a small assist in that one. But no, I mean, like, it has been fabulous. But let's get to today then. So how many teams are in the 4th edition?
So I've got 30 signed up for it. I did have 31, but one team have pulled out. Bye Forever registered. They were really good. The guy registered, Joey registered, and they said, I'm going to check with everyone. And they said, look, we don't think we've got the appetite within the family for this. So they pulled out, which is fine. So we've got 30 teams, but it's...
Go on, the name drop. Go on, give us something tasty to get our teeth into it. Name drop a couple of these teams.
If you compare that to like Global Clash Cup or something like that, 256 teams, whatever, it's tiny. But the teams that are taking part in this are absolutely mental. We've got Tribe in there. We've got Inquisition are coming back. Golden X, Unfair Warfare. I'm now Mack Gaming asked if they could. It's just insane.
The Family Feud list is becoming a list of Mack reports. That's what it is.
Yes.
Every Mack report, we're going to do team in Family Feud.
Keepers Alliance, yeah, Keepers Alliance. They were sort of mad for it. Albanaki was just like, oh, like a community event. That sounds amazing. Let's do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And it's brilliant. So
is it Keepers Alliance though?
Do have Clash of Style on, yeah.
Is it Keepers Alliance or is it JoJo 22, JoJo 23, JoJo 24, Ast 1, Ast 2? Talk to me. What's the lineup?
So I don't. So once again, another thing is that, and we have had issues with this in the past, but I don't have like fixed rosters or anything like that. I understand you're trying to get 20 players together, and for a competition that isn't for money. So the idea is to just basically is as flexible as possible. The only stipulation is they have to be a genuine member of the alliance. So you actually do have people that are in more than one family. So Lando was probably the best example. He played for Unfair Warfare and also for Bye Forever. And he was like, do I need to choose a side? And I was like, you know what? Unless you actually meet each other, then you need to pick a side. But actually, up until then, kind of doesn't matter. You're genuinely a member of both families. So just play in both families. And it's just about trying to make it as, I don't know, as admin easy on me as possible. That's the idea. But yeah, the list is insane. It's absolutely mental, the amount of teams.
Yeah, and I will admit, I mean, a lot of these questions I'm asking, I do know the answer. So I follow Twitter, I keep up on these things. So I'm pretty dialed in with quite a lot of what's going on. But I have to admit, when I read, I mean, because I think you posted a couple of days ago that you had 24, but you were going to try and find spots for a few more. And then now that you're over 30, I mean, look out MLCW, look out CWL, because Mack on his own might be competing.
It's awesome because it's a competition that's not for money. It's just for Clash. It's because people love playing Clash. That's brilliant. That's what I love about it. One Hive are in it this season. I've asked them every season, never been able to find the right person to ask that's not ignored me. And so the only people that I've not been able to get in is the Stephanie Machabi family. That would have been a mental team. They could have just had their 4 esports teams in, and it would have been insane. But they were like, nah. That's
a bit of a challenge at the minute. Obviously, they're very dialed in with what they're doing. Obviously, they've had to make some big changes with their events and with their teams because of all the other things that are happening. Yeah. I do hope that if they can get a little bit of a quieter period, that we might be able to get them involved in a few more things, because they do enjoy all that stuff. Like, obviously, I've interviewed them, I've spoke to them, I deal with them quite often. They're good people, and I know that it'd be a great Mack report, like, because the one thing that I really do like about them is that they are willing to talk about things that, perhaps other people might shy away from. Like, there's, like with everything, there's two sides to a story, and it would be great to hear their side on this kind of show. Maybe we'll tease that for the future. Who knows? But that leads us on nicely into the Mack report itself. Now, obviously, we spoke about this. I don't know if it's going to be on the video, but that might be in the extras, the director's cut. But me and Mack were chatting a little bit about, obviously, I used to do some shows in the past, and it isn't just me. Echo Freeman's done some good stuff as well in the past as well. There's a couple of other people that have done good work. But now, there's no doubt about it, the Mack report is the #1 show on Clash of Clans. The quality of guests has been varied, but also very, very high. I mean, even getting people like, the obvious ones like your Carbon Fins and people like that, I get that. But even like the Almanac, relatively new to the very top of the esports scene, straight away she's on the Mack report. I'm going to save the big one till last. Let's talk about that first. So the non-Supercell guests. I mean, did this surprise you how quickly it took off? How quickly you were getting some of the very biggest names on Clash?
Yeah. Yeah, genuinely, it still surprises me. It's like you just saying that, it's just mental, yeah. So being described as the biggest show in Clash, like that's insane, yeah. I'm sitting in my house in Scotland interviewing, and you're right, I interview like just. And the people I pick, if that makes sense, like it's basically whoever I've plucked up the courage to ask, if that makes sense, yeah. And I started with people I knew and all that sort of stuff, but I didn't like the amount of DMs I get of people saying, "How did you get Clash Bashing on your show? How did you get Judo Sloth on your show?" And I'm like, I genuinely just asked them, and sometimes it's a little bit cheeky, like Judo. So I asked Judo publicly on Twitter. Immediately after he did Clash of Clans stole my idea, but that was the sort of like that's the thoughts that go through your head. You're like, oh, Clash of Clans. So what was it called? During the Worlds last year, they did some sort of pre-recorded interviews during the Worlds. In fact, not even during. They were like separate little stories. I can't remember what they were called. But they were really good, and like the first one had like Boom and and Judo Sloth on it and all that sort of stuff. And I basically said, "We cheeky thing." Like I'd been doing it for like 3 months or something like that. I hadn't been doing it. I just said, "Judo, if you want to come on a live one, just let me know." And he replied back and said, "Yeah, send me a DM." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, okay then." So yeah. And so yeah, that's sort of where it's sort of all that sort of stuff. Doing the charity, I did a charity stream in May. That was good because although it was Lando that ended up coming on the show, I reached out to a whole load of big sort of Clash of Clans streamers, either to play Among Us or like that was the one that I asked Rocket to come on originally, and he said I'd love to, but I can't. Maybe later. And then I did get him. I said I'm going to hold you at that. And he was like, "Yeah, definitely. I mean it. I'm not joking." I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And I asked Eric and Carbon Fin and a couple other people to play Among Us. And that was like right at the end of the stream. And I don't think any of them actually played. It was right at the end of the stream, and I was very tired. I can't remember. But it opened up a sort of a connection to then sort of ask again, if that makes sense. But it's just like. I've only interviewed people I'm interested in talking to, if that makes sense. It sounds really bizarre. But like even the ones that haven't had like great views, I haven't been great. They wouldn't necessarily have been great for YouTube. Don't make a catchy thumbnail. It's like I'm genuinely interested. I wanted to speak to Clash Ninja because I was like, that's so different. The tool, what motivates someone to make a whole website all about farming your Clash of Clans account? So that was sort of all that sort of stuff is sort of like where it came from. And then like I don't know, I dropped into your stream one day and you're like, when are you inviting me on the Mack report? I'm like, flipping it. What's going on? Like, how is that a thing? How do people want to be on this show? How is it's mental? So that's yeah. And it was all.
Let me tell you two things about that. I mean, first of all, obviously, I watched the show. I think I've watched every episode. I think not all of them live. I will admit there are occasions where I've had to miss them, but then caught back up with them. But I'm pretty sure I've watched every episode. But also, your man Beastos Crunk, he'd already sort of nudged me about it and said, you need to get on there. And so he definitely nudged me towards it. But bear in mind, I was already watching it at that point. But yeah, when he nudged me, it was like, yeah, it would be a lot of fun to do. And like, I enjoy your style, and I think that you've got a very good style that allows people to enjoy it more. As you know, as you can tell from this show right now, I talk too much. I take too much of it away, whereas you're a lot better at letting other people talk. And I think that not only allows you to do the good interviews, but particularly when you have 5 people on there. That was the first thing I said when I did Inside the Clancast. I'm never interviewing 5 people. There's not enough. But you make it work, and I think you've got a lot of strengths in what you do. I'm really impressed with what you're doing, and I hope that it carries on.
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot from those ones. So, like, when you ask a question, and even if you've just got 2 people on, times that I forget to say a name or tell them beforehand who should talk first, and then it's just silence, and you're like, oh man, this is like. I think the Hold My Beer and Marnell interview was the first one, and I think Kronk messaged me afterwards and said that was an amazing interview, but it started really badly, and I was like, I know, I lived it, I experienced it, and it was that Hold My Beer is brilliant, a really talkative guy, and really engaging, and Marnell was struggling to understand me, I think, and took, I think, maybe a good 5 minutes long. It felt like a long 5 minutes to just warm up and get into his flow. But once he got going, he was fine. But it was just like that thing of like, just keep smiling, it'll be okay. And it did, and he got there. But it was just like that was It's like there's been some real sort of difficult ones. There's definitely a difference between interviewing a streamer or a caster or a YouTuber and interviewing someone that's maybe not as used to being on the camera. So like. I don't know, like a player or something like that, they tend to be just more nervous, which is totally understandable. But yeah, so I've learned loads from it. But yeah.
Well, let's get to the big one then, because there's no doubt about it. I mean, in terms of Clash of Clans, interviewing Darian it's the peak of Clash of Clans interviews, and obviously not once but twice now. You've been able to ask him pretty free-ranging questions. He's been quite open. I say open, he's definitely a politician. Like, he doesn't actually tell you anything, but it feels like he's telling you things.
He
but
says
nevertheless,
I mean, never giving you any information.
Exactly, yeah. A lot of words, but no information. It's like, I was thinking about the last one you did, and he talked for probably 6, maybe 7 minutes about the next update. I was like, oh, it's really cool finding so much out. And afterwards I thought, I know exactly now what I did before the show. It was great that he talked about it, but all I found out is that they don't really have a name for it yet. I was like, great. So yeah, I mean, but nevertheless, I mean, a massive experience for you. Obviously, it raises the credibility of the show tremendously, but not just that. I know how much you enjoy those shows. I mean, talk to me about those, because they must be the 2 peak shows that you've done in terms of your enjoyment.
Yeah, so like that was another one that it was proper cheeky. I basically I just tweeted Darian and said and I name dropped. It was like, I've had Clash Bashing, Judo Sloth, whoever else had Itsu. I can't remember who I had tagged in the tweet, but I tagged a bunch of people because they'd all been on. It wasn't a lie. Like, they'd all been on the show. When do you think it's okay to ask Darian on? And he said, just hit me up. I don't know, I must have caught him in a good mood. And he just went, just hit me up and we can talk about it. And then he followed me on Twitter so I could DM him. And I was like, what's happening? It's like, I'm not a Supercell content creator. I am now in the bottom rung of the program that's that awkward place where everyone says, do you have a creator code? And you go, no, and it's still a long way away. I don't have a code. And you have that conversation that goes around lots of times, because that's all people want to know is, do you have a code? And it's such a nice question to be asked. It's so cool, because it's like people are like, I want to support you in game, which is insane. And that's it's so nice to be asked that. But yeah, and so why is Darian speaking to me when he could be speaking to Lady B or Judo Sloth or Itsu? He could be doing interviews with absolutely anyone who would get hundreds of thousands more viewers. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if Itsu's hardly ever interviews people, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if he's ever interviewed anyone, but it wouldn't matter. He would get so much exposure. There would be so many people tuning in for it. It would be huge. Instead, he decides to come on and just to chat. Just, you know, it was like got nothing, no sort of like ulterior motive. He suggested, he's like, I love the Scottish accent. Why don't you ask me some Scottish words and I'll see if I can work out what they are. And so like we did all these like extra fun things in it as well. It was insane. And the second time he came on, he asked to come on, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, let me check my diary, Darian. I'm available every day. So you tell me.
So yeah, and I basically said like, I was like, right, okay, well let's set a date, and he was like, let's put it for maybe a few weeks down the line. So I set it in January, I think, or March, and I genuinely was expecting him to maybe drop some like announcement. Maybe he thought he was going to have an announcement at that point as well. But
we're on the same wavelength here.
He didn't really give anything away, but I was like, I mean, he has to come on. This is a big deal. And it was a big deal, don't get me wrong, and it was awesome, but he didn't tell us anything.
No,
still
he's brilliant at that.
Yeah.
And then, this is how I want to finish this subject, somebody literally copied it on YouTube. Now, let's ignore the negative sides of it, but there is a certain flattery to that not only are they, you know, excited because you're interviewing Darian, and that is a big deal, but also they obviously liked what you did because, you know, they're just literally lifting your content and putting it on theirs. Now, I know that you spoke to them now, and I know that things are a bit more chilled, but like just from the flattery side of it, there must have been a little part that was like, I'm a big deal now, people are copying off me.
It's insane. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but you're right. It's so. I think Badstag was more angry than me about it, and I just basically jumped onto his. I looked at the video, clicked on it, and then basically just put a wee comment saying, "Could have just linked the original video, mate." And he did, and then he did. He replied saying, "I fixed it now. I'm sorry," and I was just like, "That's fine." So the first Darian interview got translated by. I can't remember. It's a French guy, and he DM'd me before.
I honestly thought you were going to say that they translated it into English. Then I've been so happy.
Yeah. No, it got translated into French, and he basically said, "Do you mind if I share this with my community?" And the guy had like the guy's got like, I don't know, like 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm like, what? That's insane. And this guy, from, I'm not sure exactly what language he was in, but it's sort of India way. I'm not sure what dialect he was speaking. But actually, what I had noticed, it had some views, and it got the initial comments, and then it sort of just dropped off a little bit again. And then it had a whole lot of Indian names coming in, asking a whole load of questions, and I was replying. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, it had like a second bounce, but I think it had that second bounce because even though he hadn't linked the video, he had talked about this video and they'd gone and searched from it and found it. So it was like, it's flattering, and actually it gave me some exposure as well. The guy's got a lot more followers than me, or subscribers, sorry, on YouTube. And so yeah, it's awesome. And I think it's always nice to ask someone, or just let them know beforehand. That's like the nice side of it. But actually, I mean, I steal clips from people's streams sometimes, and I don't necessarily always speak to them because, like, I don't know, like I used Itsu's. I just thought, oh, Itsu won't mind. So I took that clip of, you know, when the banning happened. Who was it? Was it LP? I can't remember. The guy who forced quit the game in the Worlds qualifier. And then who was it? Man, just last year, and it got cancelled. In King, basically the team that are now
AS Monster.
Yeah, AS Monster. Sorry, yeah. And got thrown. Basically got thrown out. And Itsu's reaction to that happening live, I couldn't stream it because I'm not in the special list. Itsu's reaction to that happening live was so good. I just took that. I just clipped his stream and I just put it in the video because it just summed up everything about, like, what just happened. And but I never actually asked Itsu about it. I'm sorry, Itsu, but I thought he won't mind, and he probably gets hundreds of DMs and it'll be okay. And yeah, It's like, so yeah, so I don't know. So
Right, well,
it's like, I've done it.
before it issues that copyright strike, let's move forwards then. Let's. Now, I believe you've got the graphic there because I want to dive in and talk about relevant now. Like obviously, Clash of Clans, World Championships, Team Queso, or Queso Cup, should I say? First golden ticket event kicked off this weekend, and there's a lot of factors to it. There's a lot to discuss with it. But I believe you've got, there it is. There's a graphic of the 8 teams that qualified. So obviously, first of all, I mean, well done to them. That's pretty simple. But before we get to the teams, let's talk a little bit about the structure. So first of all, it's going to be Queso, ESL, Clash Masters, plus Unknown, doing the four of the golden tickets this year. So a bit of a change around. What are your views on this change? What's different about 2022? What's better? What do you see?
So last year had a lot of problems. So I was chatting to Hooked about this actually in DMs, and the controlled by Supercell really struggled. Yeah, the company that Supercell employed, I doubt they did it in house. They'll have employed a company who probably aren't employed with them anymore. And there was a lot of glitches with it and all that sort of stuff. They've kind of moved away from that now, which is kind of a bit of a shame because there was some real strength to it. And I liked that sort of regular monthly activity. You knew that on this weekend and this weekend there was worlds happening. And that was I quite like that as a structure. It's a little bit more. It's essentially like, so Queso Cup is going to have a totally different format. It's got the Swiss format, which I think looks really cool. I've never seen the Swiss bracket before. I think it's a really cool idea. Last year every year had problems, says Kronk. Yeah. I really like it as a concept. I think like having the community do it, I think that makes sense because the community are quite good at doing it. However, there are quite a lot of the people running these tournaments are actually there's a couple of names that pop up a lot in these tournaments. So actually it's a different backer maybe, but actually the people running it are very similar people in ESL. And anyway,
you said it's nice that the community are running it. Like, I'm just going to say it. I don't mind. I'll take the heat for this one. You can dodge this one if you want to. But to me, there's 3 types of events. There's Supercell events, there's community events, and then in the middle, there's sponsored events.
Yeah.
Queso, Clash Masters, I love what they do. They're awesome. And ESL for that matter as well. But they are not community events. They're not volunteers. They're sponsored. And to me, there is a difference.
You're right. And I think that's what I'm saying, where there's 2 or 3 names that are in all of those servers that make all decisions. And genuinely, I think if a team was to fall out with a couple of those admins in one competition, they probably wouldn't be able to play in any of them because it's the same people. I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking in turn. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of my view on it. Yeah, the true community competitions like CWL, GCC, Fire Fiera, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they're you're right. There's 3 tiers, and I think that was kind of apparent when the week after we're going to support the community events more. We then go, oh, by the way, there's a warm-up this weekend. And we're like, what? So what about our community events that are happening this weekend?
Surprise!
Yeah, so that was an interesting sort of turn of events. But, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the positives then as well. We'll swing this round because, I mean, one thing that you can say is that, particularly at the start of this year, we saw the EYG tournament get several shout-outs in-game. Obviously, some of Carbon's Masters series have been put into... When I say into game, I mean, you actually could click on a tab and it's there for you. It sends you to YouTube or it sends you to Switch. And that's awesome. I mean, Clash Royale does that all the time. And it perhaps should have been in Clash of Clans much sooner. But the community events are benefiting from that. CWL as well got several shout-outs. I think 1 or 2 of the Fire Fieras have, but not in English. They've gone out in other languages. But still... I mean, that side of it's good at least. At least we're getting more community support, albeit not quite the way that it was announced, but it is happening.
No, yeah, I love that. And although I've never, and I'm not like, oh, Supercell should be shouting me out. That's not what I'm saying by this, but I've never been shouted out. But the event, so when the CWL final was getting streamed, when the EYG final was getting streamed, and I was streaming it as well, one of the other streamers got the shout out. One of the tier 3 content creators quite rightly got the shout out because they're like the big name that's going to also draw people in. But I benefited from it. My numbers went up because there was more people that maybe knew it was happening, knew it was coming soon, but then they turn on their game, they look in the game, and they're like, oh, it's happening right now. I'm going to click on that, and then, oh, I'm going to go and see my mate Mack, and they go and click on me instead of going to that streamer. And so my numbers were up then anyway, and I think that was, I've streamed other finals in the past, and okay, maybe it's that I've been going longer now, but I think the community shoutouts actually benefited everyone that was on Twitch that day, which is cool.
Yeah.
I love that as a concept.
And not even just that day, because those people will come back to, not all of them, but some of them will come back to Twitch. Some of them will check out other streamers. I agree with you. I think it benefits everybody, of course. The one that gets the shout out gets 90% of it, but still some of it does pass around.
And sorry, I cut you off there. And Carbon flipping raided, he got the shout out. I can't remember what one it was, and he raided me. And I said it as a joke. Someone said, "Oh, Carbon Finn's got the in-game shout out today," and I said, "Well, get into his stream and tell him he needs to raid me afterwards because I'm streaming another war after this." And I don't know if they did or if it was disconnected, and I said it as a joke, but he flipping raided me, and it was incredible. The amount of people that appeared on my stream was just insane. So yeah, that was the biggest raid I've ever had, and that was ridiculous. But yeah, so you benefit from that as well. That's only one person. I know I'm very lucky to have got that. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the teams. And I could be wrong here, but I have a feeling this might lead us into another topic. But we'll start with the teams on the screen. And again, obviously a big shout out to all 8 of these teams. No doubt about it. MS Esports, one of the top 10 teams in the world. They have been for over 3 years now. And then it's not top 10 teams. We've got RVNT, CRG, SG Tristella. Now, people will recognise a couple of the names in there. They have been in and around a lot of other teams, but perhaps not top 10. Aphelion Titans, albeit Aphelion have done some big things, but the Titans team itself is new to the Aphelion brand. So they're, again, relatively new to this stage. Total Access.
They're my guys.
They're your guys. I had a feeling you might like those guys. Obviously, Absolute Zero as well. Now, granted, they have been on a bit of a flyer at the start of 2022. They've been doing some good stuff, so maybe that's not too much of a surprise. Same with another GB2. They've also been around a little bit, but I mean, let's face it, we're talking about Strut, Chazmac, we're talking about King Mutaba, we're talking about Queen Walkers, for crying out loud. And only really out of the biggest names, only MS Esports made it. I think it's fair to say. I hope none of the other 7 teams, I don't want my DMs filling up now, but to me, that is one top 10 team making it and 7 outside the top 10. Was that a surprise to you? What do you think this means? Give me your sort of opening thoughts on that.
So I see there's been a lot on Twitter about like, oh, is this because of spam and all that sort of stuff? But the teams that I know out of the teams that I've seen, so I genuinely, CRG, I've genuinely never heard of. RVNT, Radisson Esports or Rest, they made Worlds last year. They made the qualifier weekend last year. They're a decent side. Absolute Zero have been on an absolute flyer. Total
That's use of absolute there. I like what you did.
Yeah.
See, that's why you're the host. That's why you know what you're doing.
Tristellar have always, like, they've got some quality players in there. They'd always threatened of like, these guys have got potential to be good. I know. So Titan Global Gaming last year, this year the Aphelion Titans. Charlie, who ran Titan Global Gaming, reached out to me and said, "Can you be our streamer?" I'd never heard of these guys, and I was like, "What does that involve?" And he was like, "Just stream our wars whenever you can." I was like, "All right, yeah, okay, man." I love it. It's just, you get that relationship with a team when you stream them lots. You just like, you end up just like knowing everything about like the hit order that they run in. You get some banter, but maybe not everyone does. But I always rip into Camille. Camille was for ages was either a 3-star or a 1-star player. He's not now. But I just used to rip into him all the time, and it was good fun because I knew he could take it. It turns out he's Polish, playing in a German side, and that's why he can take the joke. The Germans don't get the jokes. Because different humour. I lived in Germany anyway, so I'm allowed to say that.
I like how you used a different humour. That was very political. Hold on.
And then so Total Access, another GB2. So Total Access is a different team actually from so Total Access last year was a very different team. But it's probably more Cosmic Regime. Now these are all a lot of these are clans that these are always clans that I stream and have always been decent, but maybe not totally consistent. And maybe the game being a little bit inconsistent now is helping the teams that aren't always consistent, if that makes sense. I know that like AA Titans, like they messaged me the day before and said, so you streamed us at they're always quite happy for me to stream, so I streamed them at the Rush tournament and said like stream us all the wars, that doesn't matter. And they said, can you not stream us on Saturday on Queso Cup because because we've got some new bases, we've built 15 bases just for this, we haven't used them, been working on these for ages, we're going to be disappointed if we don't make it. And I was like, yeah, no worries, turns out I can't stream you anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. So it was no problem. But
sorry, can you just say that last bit again, just for the sound clip? Turns out what? Sorry, you can't.
Turns out I can't stream you anyway, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, but that's so in the same way that Strut and Chazmac and all these teams have been preparing for it, these guys have been preparing for it maybe differently from how they did last year. I don't know. Last year it was set up, and I don't know, maybe. And I had Homabir on last week, and you're part of CCN as well. Maybe the top 10 isn't the top 10 anymore, is the other controversial way of doing it. Maybe we need to judge teams differently, because actually the nature of clan of esports has changed slightly. We've got a lot more of these long format, short wars in a big long stretch, not long format, sorry, but short format, but like 8 wars in a row, or, do you know what I mean? And they have to, a lot of them are 30-minute wars, so they've got less time to plan and all that sort of stuff. Whereas, I don't know, a 5 1-hour war, there was a lot more planning time in that. And okay, last year was 45-minute wars, but maybe, do you know what I mean? Maybe the stakes have changed. I don't know. Maybe the structure is different, or maybe it's just to do with more bases are getting burnt. That's the other side of it. That could easily be it.
I mean, the one thing I'll throw out there, I mean, I watched Queen Walkers in action, and they went out when they scored 11 stars. I mean, everybody knows I'm a huge fan of Queen Walkers, and just to answer some Twitter points, I was streaming them when they were tiny. Like, well, I say tiny, they've never been tiny, but when they weren't a big deal, like I've always enjoyed watching them. So I'm just going to fire. That's my own little sound clip I'm sneaking in there, but. I mean, they went out with 11 stars, and they know they're not the kind of team that's going to make excuses. They're not going to sit there and say, oh, it's because our base has got burnt. That's because they got 11 stars, and 11 stars doesn't win wars. Not in this current meta. There's no way. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any question about, like, there's always going to be that. You've got to win. I mean, this weekend you had to win 5 wars in a row to make it to this stage. And there's been a bit of uproar about this. I do keep in touch with what other people think. But the thing I'll say about this is none of these 8 teams have yet got a golden ticket. One of them will. I don't know. I don't even know if there is a silver ticket this year. I've not really checked into it. But even if one of them wins a gold and one wins a silver, I was thinking back for the last 3 years of esports, there's never been a true wild card with a golden ticket, except if you're going to really go back, you could possibly argue that the... what they call the Chinese team that got in on the community vote at Town Hall 12. Perhaps they're the only real wild card. I think everybody else has been a decent team that's had a golden ticket. I can't think of anybody. Shenzhou, thank you, Fluxy. And I mean, Flux is throwing out 11 Original, but 11 Original won the Town Hall 12 championship. I mean, they're not. They've got silverware. Yeah. They've won things before. They're not a complete nobody, and I think it would be really unfair to say that they were about Eve. The fact that they shouldn't have won that vote and Tribe should have won it, but that's the difference. Let's not go into that subject. But my point is here is that... Sorry, just let me just finish that.
I'm glad they changed that. Sorry, go for it.
The cream rises to the top. And ultimately, when we get to World Championships, yes, we're missing 1 or 2 of the main teams. That's always been the case. But roughly speaking, it's 8 of the best. Yeah. Do you agree with that? And will it be the same this year, I guess, is my question on the end of that.
So, that's the thing. These guys have done the first qualifying weekend, and they've done the hard job early, if that makes sense. But actually, the amount of all these guys have guaranteed, everyone that's sitting here will be looking at that group and thinking, we're looking at it and going, right, so MS Esports are in here. Actually, we wouldn't mind playing any of the other teams. They'll all be thinking about that against each other because they're relatively unknown. And they'll be looking at next weekend and who qualifies from next weekend as their potential opponents. You've got Mack, you've got Strut, you've got VN Tompanai, you've got SSG, Queenwalker, so Stephanie Queenwalkers. You've got all of those teams potentially in the second half of this bracket. And one of those teams of those 16 are going to get through this Swiss format, which means they have to play 3 wards. I can't even remember what it is that's different about it, but I think it looks interesting, mainly because it's new and new to me. And one of those teams are going to get a golden ticket. They've still got a long way to go, and actually, every one of these teams here are probably, with the exception, in fact, probably including MS Esports, would be like, next, like when we get next weekend off, but actually after that, potentially facing Strut. That's not good. With Strut having time to prepare against us. That's a nightmare. That's where Strut are really strong, if that makes sense. When Strut have the opportunity to prepare bases against that, but like Strut's first, maybe with the exception of Tribe, when they were alternate attacks last year, but actually prior to that, Strut, that first war, I remember them taking on Hanoi and just destroying them because they were ready for them, because they knew that was who they were playing. And off the back of that, they just rode that confidence, just rode them through. And I don't mean it's just confidence, they're also incredible players. But I think that's a big bit to do with it.
So when you see these reactions about these 8 teams, like you said, it's 8 teams. There's going to be, for the first time ever, there'll be another 8. So there will actually be 16 in the next round of qualifying. Plus, then it's going to be the Swiss, it's basically like triple elimination is possibly one way to look at it. Like you have to be eliminated 3 times. It's probably the easiest way to look at it. So with that in mind, surely consistency becomes a bigger factor. And when you put all these things together, ultimately, people overreacted a little bit to this, what's happened.
I think there's a couple of different things. There's 2 different arguments. There's the argument about the meta, and there's the argument about the streaming. And
well, let's skip the stream because that's a Mack show and it's on its own.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But that's the sort of, you got like those 2 sort of elements going on, and I think that's where the issues are coming from, that people getting their bases burnt. And actually, I saw it with, I streamed, the only person streaming Rush a couple of Fridays ago, just from the time, I think Susie was off sick, because she was in the chat, and I was like, why are you not streaming this? She's like, I'm not feeling well. And I streamed, people wanted to see Mack, and so, that was, I think, possibly the first time I've ever experienced that, when people are like, stream Mack, no one's streaming them, we want you to stream Mack, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And so Drew was like, spread the love. And so we visited Mack, we went away, we covered a couple of different teams, we tried to spread it out as much as possible, but actually, they went out, the round that they went out, I didn't stream, but they got hit by, in fact, no, I did stream actually, sorry, and we watched them getting hit by textbook copies of hits that we had seen them get used against them earlier on, and it's just because they'd run out of bases. And it's like...
Is this a new thing, though? Like, you've got us back on this show. I was trying to avoid the streaming thing, but I've seen a lot of uproar. It's okay, but I've seen a lot of uproar about it, and I'm sitting thinking, but this happened at Town Hall 14 last year. This happened at Town Hall in the World Championship qualifiers. It happened at Town Hall 13. It happened at Town Hall 12. It happened in Mixed Wars back in, when CWL was at the very top of the community. These are not new problems. Why are people making such a big deal out of it now? What's your thought on that?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think it's because the top 10. If you look at the CCN rankings, the top 10 haven't made it. Yeah, you've got your top 12. They're not like, okay. I think Absolute Zero might have been on your list. Sorry, on MS Esports. So yeah, 10 of the teams there aren't in this list, and that's like, so suddenly it's like, well, that's because, and there needs to be a reason. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm curious about what people are saying, and I do understand the point that they're saying, but at the same time, I just, it's not a new problem. Like, this has been ongoing for a long time. Look at last year. I mean, how many people streamed Queen Walkers versus how many streamed even like maybe Blaze JP is a bad example because they were playing a different team last year, but go back to Town Hall 13, Blaze JP and Queen Walkers. Queen Walkers would get 10 times the stream that Blaze JP did, both from the same country, both talented teams. But, again, I'm really surprised that this has been brought up in such a big way right now. Not that I disagree with it, but just that, I don't know. It's just really bizarre that it's exploded so much now. And yet people didn't mind a few months ago.
In the chat there, it's the amount of competitions that there are means that there's much more stream takes, so they're just keeping up with base building. And I think when you were on, we talked about that when we had the four of us on before Worlds, saying that Queen Walkers maybe aren't the strongest team on paper, but their stream so much, the sheer amount of bases that get burnt from them actually knocks them down a bit, because people are able to predict them so much more. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's something that
I agree, but I turn that on the head though, that because they're streamed more, they're better under pressure.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But Yuta, if he's not the best closer in Clash, he's certainly top 3. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone will put him outside the top 3. And is that partly because he gets streamed? I try to look for advantages in these situations. Like, again, I'm not trying to say that anybody's wrong about this, because there's no doubt about it. Queen Walkers, for example, are streamed considerably more than anybody else. But the one mistake that people make, and I think I even tweeted this to one of the guys today, is that we don't stream what we want to do. You said it yourself the other day. People wanted you to stream Chazmack, so you went to stream Chazmack. Yeah. The reason that Lex gets up at crazy o'clock in the morning, because Lex loves to sleep in, he's not an early morning kind of guy, but the reason he gets up early to stream Queen Walkers, because they play for him very early, is because that's what his viewers want to see. And I think that people overrate the control that the streamers have. We don't sit in a little group and be like, right, all 10 of us are streaming Queen Walkers. That's not how it works.
Yeah. And that was kind of my point, was actually it shouldn't be for the streamers to decide. It's almost, my idea would be like some sort of draft system where, and I'm not necessarily, like, I know, I'm realistic about my numbers. I know that I'm not like, but then at the same time, Darren came on my show, so who knows?
So you're a big deal.
So I don't know, I'm a big deal, let me on. But like you could have like a draft system where you say, right, X streamer, you're tier 3, you get the first pick. Whose wars are you going to stream? Right, who are you going to stream? And force the streamers to make a choice, which is not ideal, I know, but almost do it like a draft. And then right down the bottom, it's like, right, Mac, you've got, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a terrible team now. You've got Sparto Agogi, and they'll get first rounded, and then that's the end of your road. You then raid into someone else, and you're done, and you do round of 256, and then you're done. And I'd either go, nah, you're alright, or, okay, cool, that's great, I get to stream Worlds, that's really exciting. And, do you know what I mean? And then it's the streamer's choice, and I don't know. It's like, it's not ideal, but there's probably a middle ground somewhere between 3 streamers and, I don't know.
We should do a show on this. I understand everything that you're saying, but I disagree completely, and here's why. So think about it. Right? Let's say, whereabouts in Scotland are you from?
I'm from Edinburgh. Yeah.
Right. So, what's Edinburgh's main football team?
Heart of Midlothian. There is also Hearts, but we don't count them because I'm a Hearts.
Right. Well, we'll go with Hibs just because I've actually heard of them. Right. So we'll go with Hibs. Right. Do Hibs get as much TV time as Man United?
No.
Is that a bad thing, or is it natural?
It's just the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't understand why we're trying to force this socialism on Clash of Clans that everybody gets streamed equally. Like ultimately,
I think you're right. Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. I don't know. Pick a competition that's just started. In French Cup, yeah, French Clash Cup's just started. Strut are playing in that. I probably won't stream Strut not because I dislike the team, they're an incredible team, but actually when I stream them, I know that I'm going up against 3 or 4 huge streamers, and there's no point. Whereas actually, I can stream just as exciting a war and have just as nice a time by streaming Unfair Warfare or or some other ones, I don't know, anyway, like or A Titans or anyone, or just like random teams, and actually meeting new teams is some part of the thing that I enjoy. But for me, the thing is that, and I understand why they've said you need to be this creator before you can join, because there's a limit to how many spectator slots you can have. There's also a limit to, I think that happened in CWL final, and Carbon Fin couldn't get in to spectate because they should have been a clean feed, and that's like a learning process, and these things happen. But and there needs to be a certain level of quality. You want to make sure that the person's decent. It's not someone, and no offense if you stream on your phone, but someone streaming on their phone with a terrible mic and no camera, and the picture's really grainy and all that. You don't want that to be a Supercell sponsored event. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't think Supercell want it to be anyway. So that's why there's this limit put on. But I think there's a middle ground between like 15 streamers and maybe like 30 streamers have the opportunity to do it.
And I think
just increase the number of people. I think that's.
I agree with you. Again, I do want to move off this subject because it's a subject. This is a show on its own. I agree with you on that point. And the thing is, as well, this is a crazy thing. And again, this has been around for 7 years. And it blows my mind. I was reading something that someone had posted on Twitter about, it's not fair that we have 10 streamers in our clan. And it's like, but it doesn't matter. If you have 1 or 10, it makes no difference. As soon as you've been streamed once, even if the other team don't stream you, they might have private recorded your bases anyway. Like, those bases are burnt anyway. And it's one of the things, and this is a real bugbear of mine, when people go, we got streamed by 10 streamers. So 1 or 10 makes no difference. As soon as you let one in, that
one photo on the internet, that's it. Your photo's on the internet.
Burnt Base has got that immediately. But no, and it's one of the most hilarious things on Clash of Clans. It really is. It's just one of those silly things that I can't cope with. Personally, I'd love to see more wars.
So people can get angry about that. That's what we need.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting point, that, because I was asking you earlier about do I think people are overreacting to some of the things that are happening? Maybe that's part of it. Maybe there's not enough other stuff to talk about at the minute, because maybe it has got a little bit stale and people are just literally looking for something to jump on. The one final thing that I wanted to talk to you about this as well, and it is very much linked to those teams that have qualified. Obviously, we have no Russian teams, no Belarusian teams, perhaps not as big an impact, but no Chinese teams. Now, that is a considerable impact. I mean, we'll know it. Like, we'll just throw it out there just for anybody watching. Like, it sucks. None of us are happy about it. We wish it was better, but some of these things are just far, far bigger than our pay grade, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we're just going to roll with it. But how much of an impact do you think that the Chinese-Russian split has had on the World Championship qualifier?
So, I think they're different. They're very different. So the Russian one is interesting. And possibly a little bit more controversial in some ways, because actually, I don't think is it Avatar that's from Russia, or is it Dima? I can't remember, but I don't think it's necessarily the war in Ukraine has anything to do with them. I understand the sort of the political idea of of trying to, I don't know, I'm getting really political. But
you are, especially when it has nothing to do with the question. I was deliberately keeping you on Clash of Clans here, just talking about strictly the quality of the teams. Like, I mean, literally, we now have. So
I don't know if the Russian ones had much impact, because I think I've seen Russian teams with Russian players still playing, and still seeming to get a work around it. Maybe Avatar not on his main account, for example, and Bads, but actually Bads are still playing and did all right at the weekend. I actually don't know if he was on the roster or not. The Chinese thing is huge. They're now in their own little strange bubble, and the Legends League numbers are, I think, probably the most interesting sort of indicator of that. And I know that Legends League pushing has nothing to do with Clash of Clans esports and is a slightly different beast. But when you've got someone with like 36 defenses and on 7,000 something trophies in the Chinese Legends League server, and everyone else in the rest of the world is on like 6,000 and something with like 3 defenses as the top guy, it's insane. Like that's mental. That's just absolutely crazy. And I think you've got this thing, and I talked about the time when it first came out, like when we had a guest on talk, like, actually, are they going to have their own unstreamed sort of like strategies and like stuff that you talk about, like bases, bases getting burnt and people streaming Queen Walker's lot and understanding their strategies and what they're going to do. When JX Tiger, if the fourth slot is for a Chinese representative and it is JX Tiger or whoever it is that comes out with that Chinese server, if JX Tiger or King Machaba appear on the scene, they're a total unknown quantity. Talk about a wild card. You've got a team who hasn't played against any of these other teams for an entire 9 months. It's insane. It's like, and there is a loophole at the moment where these players are playing on additional accounts, but I think Supercell will get wise to that fairly quickly and that'll disappear.
I think with that, it's not that they're not wise to it, it's that they'll have to shut it down. And I think they don't have a choice with that. I don't think they want to. I think they'd love to leave the back doorway.
This is not a decision that Supercell's making. No. This is not something they wanted to do. It's not something that Epic Games wanted to do with Fortnite. They don't talk about it, but there's all the Chinese players play on a different Fortnite server.
And I think what people have to remember here as well is that the alternative is not these back doors. The alternative is that China bans these games completely.
Yeah.
So ultimately, although it sounds awful what's happened, it's actually better than it could have been. Like, there was real talk. I mean, there's plenty of articles out there about it that this could have been the end. Like, Clash of Clans could have been completely removed from China. Same with Fortnite, same with all the games.
It's a massive industry. China's huge. It's a huge amount of money. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is a compromise of sorts. Of course, we don't like it, but it's nowhere near the worst option.
Yeah, I think it's a real shame we're not going to see a couple of teams who, and to be fair, in terms of impact to me, because of the time zone they're in, most of their wars were played when I was at work and I never streamed them. I remember saying that about JX Tiger, saying, I've not really seen them do very much before the world saying it. And Susie was like, JX Tiger are decent, like you should watch them. And I'm like, I've never really seen them, and it's because they play all their wars early and I don't stream them. And they're not even like on my radar. So, yeah, it's a shame that they're not there. I think there's a workaround with, I'm sure when it was announced that it was, we're having a LAN event this year for the World's Finals. I'm sure that was in the video. I've not actually gone back and checked that. I'm sure that was what was said in the thing. And I think the reason behind there has to be a LAN event is because otherwise the Chinese players can't play. All they need to then do is get that Chinese team that wins out of China, which could be fairly challenging itself, to a location to then play on a local server where they can do whatever they want, and everyone has maxed accounts against and all that sort of stuff. They can sort all that sort of nonsense out. So yeah, I don't know, but this is probably area that Supercell are sitting there going, oh, don't talk about this.
Well, let's dive into another question then, and let's talk a little bit. I mean, this is all linked to the future of Clash of Clans and esports then. And the reality is I don't know exactly how many teams. I don't know if there's any admins in the chat from KSO, but it was considerably less than 256. So there was a lot of buys in the first round, which was 256. So my guess would be there was somewhere around 200 teams signed up. Now, granted, you could argue we probably lost 50 teams because of China, probably a further 10 or so because of Russia, maybe slightly more, I don't know. But ultimately, that's still considerably less than previous years. Is this a sign that maybe esports is struggling a little bit, or am I misreading that? What's your thoughts on this?
I think it's a sign that it's not in-game sign-ups anymore. I think the massive influx you had last year, I don't know the numbers, but if you compare like the end of the year in-game sign-ups to the start of the year, like that May sign-up, man, that was mental. Absolutely insane. 12-hour wait to get the bracket sorted and all that sort of stuff. But there's so many issues. But the majority of that was there was some major issues with like it not working and the bracket breaking and all that sort of stuff. But there was some genuine.
I like how chilled you said that. Yes, a major issue is that it doesn't work. You're kind of right there. That is a major issue.
Fundamental. But but underneath all that, you also had people asking questions like, "We just matched in war, and my Town Hall 7 base is up. What's going on?" And like people that like have obviously like I remember when that happened to me. I distinctly remember that when I was in season 2 of Minor League Clan War, and the only war that we had an opportunity to win, we lost by a couple of stars, And my base got 3-starred because I had it was a Town Hall 10 with a Town Hall 7 layout on it, because I'm a lemon and I didn't understand how it worked. And people were experiencing that, so you had brand new people jumping into esports and trying it for the first time, which I think is a real positive. They maybe could have done with, I mean, it's like that learning curve of like, I don't know, like how to set their bases and all that sort of stuff. But so you had people with that level of experience YOLO in esports, and quite rightly so. Why not? Give it a go, experience it, experience the joy in, like, the thing that got me back into Clash of Clans esports was doing the Town Hall Championship, the Town Hall 5, Town Hall 6, Town Hall 7, and that was just the most fun weekend, just sitting on voice with a few mates, proper YOLOing, Town Hall 5 tournament, and like we got first rounded by Sushi, a team from Japan, who I'm pretty sure were like Haggard Metal or something. They were just insane. They, like, the precision that they had with those red balloons was just mental, but it was great fun. It's that sort of stuff. So yeah,
I played that as well. I actually played. I did stream it, but I actually played and did my live attack on stream. Town Hall 5 tripled. Only person on my team that tripled.
Nice. That was
11
hard,
stars.
Man.
11 stars. The rest of my team let me down and we went out. Susie, what happened there? Susie let me down. That's how that went down. But I agree with you. It was tremendous amount of fun, and I loved it. Hopping onto voice, and the first thing I say is, "What's Town Hall 5 better? Like, what's strong? What's not?" And the fact that it turned out to basically be a sort of Jai Barge was the strongest attack was fascinating. Like, it was really interesting what the pro players could do with it, and I think that with a couple of tweaks, we could have had that more. I feel that's an opportunity missed. I'll be honest with you. I would love to see that every year. I don't see why not.
There's people that, like, people talk fondly about that. I asked Darian about it one of the times he was on, and name drop. Because you didn't know, he's been on the show. But I remember saying, like, there's no real motive. That was a build up to Town Hall 12 coming. It was, the idea was, you know what I mean? It was like each month, and then Town Hall 12 was it Town Hall 12? Was it Town Hall 13? I can't remember, but it was like the 12th month was Town Hall 12. I think that was sort of the idea. You only did hit a triple because it was a dip, says Susie, by the way.
She can say what she likes. I tripled, she didn't. That's the only stat that matters. When Chase the Ace does the Town Hall 5 stats, it'll say Adam 100%, rest of his 100%. Team 0%. That's how that'll read.
Brilliant.
Just quickly though, can I just if Dee's ready, if you DM me the viewer questions, I've got one more thing I want to do with Mack, but then if we've got some viewer questions, I'll get onto them, because I realise that we're abusing the time a little bit.
This is the most epic of epic streams you've ever seen. I can't believe there's still 46 people watching me.
I can't believe that we've cut out several massive subjects just to get somewhere near the end.
And I've ignored you and continue to talk about things that you didn't want to talk about. Sorry, just like, I'm going to talk about streaming. Streaming world. Me says it was Town Hall 13 update that was coming. So it was all the way through to 12, and then there was a 13 in the following.
Yeah, because Eve went and won the Town Hall 12, and then they did the Town Hall 13 mixed scrim. Do you remember?
Right, okay. Yeah.
They mixed up the teams and did that event, and I thought that was really cool. I have to admit, like, I'm quite critical of things. People probably notice that I'm quite harsh on things I don't agree with. But when somebody comes up with a good idea, I'm all for praising it. And I thought it was a really awesome way to introduce Town Hall 13 by having 20 pro players mix some teams up and just do some wild attacks with Town Hall 13. I thought it was brilliant. It's one of my favourite things I've seen on Clash.
They did something similar with Builder Base. And I remember getting excited about Builder Base as well, and then playing it, and then doing it for about a week, and then being like, it's not really Clash, is it? it's different.
Right, okay. While the viewer questions are being prepared, do I need to do anything? Do I need to DM somebody so they know where I am or anything?
Maybe. What if I? How to? Oh, she's DM'd them to me. Here you go.
Okay,
excellent.
Right.
And I'll copy them.
Before I read into them, I wanted to do a quick thing, because you had a little game for Darian, and obviously, I don't like to be outdone.
Wait now. Okay. Yep.
So this is just a really easy game, really easy, and you can steal this. You can bring this for future Mack reports.
For a second.
Right, no, honestly, this could not be easier. The one thing I noticed about Darian, and you sometimes do this a little bit as well, is the political answers. Say a lot, but don't actually have any content in there. So this game is dead simple. I'm just going to say something, and you say the first word or first answer that comes to your head. Just dead quick. Okay. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah?
Okay.
Are you ready? So I'll do the easy one first.
Okay.
Well, we already know the answer to this one, so we'll just do an easy test one. So favourite town hall level.
Oh, I can't even remember what I said. 14.
No, you've done it wrong already. You just go straight into it. You say the first word. So try again.
Okay.
Favourite town hall level.
14.
There we go. Boom. So it's that simple. Favourite troop.
Hog Rider. Man, Hog Rider is just like the best sound ever. Hog Rider!
Oh, man, you should get Jake on this show. You'd be chatting all day. Favourite strategy?
To watch is Sui Lalo.
Strongest team in the world right now?
Ooh.
No, don't think it.
It's got to be Strut, isn't it?
Got to be Strut. There we go. You're trying your best to buy time, but I'm not letting you. I'm pinning you down on this.
That's hard though, man. That's such a hard one. It's so up in the air at the moment. Yeah, sorry. Yep.
YouTube or Twitch?
Twitch. It's Twitch.
Good
sorry, YouTube.
I like how you said it quietly so we can edit that on the video. Yeah. I love it.
Do you know what? And the way that I've got this set up now, it's just on YouTube and it's all there unedited. So yeah. So I can't even edit out. God. Well, I can control the ends, but yeah.
Favorite ever show that you've done? Mack show.
Ooh.
No pausing.
The one before Worlds was, it didn't get loads of views, but yourself and Itsu and Eric, and you know why that was my favourite? Was not necessarily what we talked about, but that was really interesting. It was just incredible. But I remember afterwards, you guys all stayed and chatted afterwards, and I just remember sitting there going, "What am I doing in a call with these three people? This is
that's when Itsu should have been packing that night, shouldn't he? If I remember rightly, was he not getting ready to fly?
Yeah, because we brought it forward or back a week. We moved it because he tried to get out of it, and I said, "What if I just moved the entire show?" And he went, "Oh, okay, then I can't get out of it." And he didn't say that, but do you know what I mean? Like he and we worked around it, and we chatted for about 2 hours, and I just remember sitting there occasionally going, "What am I doing here? I should not be here. This is like I'm just gonna stay." And I just stayed, and it was just so much fun. So yeah, I've had they've all been awesome. They've been brilliant. Albernaki's in the chat. Hello, Albernaki. Because Albernaki's here. Albernaki's one was brilliant as well. Yeah, but it genuinely was. All of them have been great. Yeah, they've all been good. But yeah, let's go for that one. The four guests, 4 incredible streamers, all on at the same time.
I like how I say the strongest team in the world right now. You say Strut and then Albernaki appears. Is that set up? Was that a chain of events?
She heard it.
I'm suspicious. I'm very suspicious about that
Az
one.
has just turned up as well. Az is also here.
Very suspicious. Anyway, keep moving. These fast fire questions again, quick answers. So,
I don't like this.
The guest that you most want to have on the Mack Report that you haven't had yet.
That I most want to have on. Do you know what? I'd love to have Chief Pat on. Chief Pat. Because he started on Clash of Clans and he's moved on and he's done something totally different. He runs. It's so interesting. I don't know. I don't know if we could ever get him on, but that would be insane because he's slightly removed from Clash of Clans as well. I think that's why it would be so cool. Yeah.
Your favorite warcaster.
Favorite warcaster. And I'm not allowed to say myself. I can't see you because you're right here as well. So, do you know the combination I liked at finals was judo and clash bashing. Judo and bashing. I think it was last year when the two of them were combined. So no offense to Woody, but he's too much, and he gets excited at slightly wrong times, and he's brilliant for hype, and I love, I understand what he's doing there and why he's there. But for me, Rocky was able to get that same level of hype at the right time, and then you also had Judo in there. I'm sure it was that combination, those two were brilliant. I loved that, and they fed off each other, and they got really, really, it was brilliant. I really liked that. So, yeah, let's go for those two at Worlds.
Okay, you're not allowed to give judo for this next answer, but your favourite YouTuber, because you've already shouted judo out, so that's enough. So your favourite YouTuber.
Can I say non-Clash YouTuber?
Yeah, if you want.
So, there's... Oh, man, I have to choose one of those two. So there's a guy called Up Is Not Jump, okay? Up Is Not Jump makes some of the best YouTube videos you will ever see. If you don't... I'm like, I don't know if anyone's going to watch... I'm giving a guy with 1 million subscribers a shout out, do you know what I mean? It's not really going to help him. But Up Is Not Jump, if you've not watched him, he did a video on tasting pickles, and it's the funniest thing you've ever watched. He's brilliant. So Up Is Not Jump is great, and then there's another one called Squidge Rugby, and they're kind of the two channels that I try to aspire to be like, and that's where my style of terrible Clash of Clans videos comes from, and I'm nothing like them, but yeah.
Well, sticking on that chain of thought, that leads me to nicely to the next one then. The most entertaining Clash streamer, nothing to do with war, but just the streamer that you enjoy watching on Clash for the entertainment.
Most entertaining?
Yeah.
Prime.
Optimus.
No, Levantia Prime. He was my sort of. I robbed a lot of sort of inspiration from him. Does that make sense? Not necessarily robbed exact sort of like.
How many DMs are you getting after this show? It's Sue's gonna be in there. Prime's gonna be in there.
So he plays Clash of Clans, and there's just stuff happening all over his stream. You click on a channel point redemption and stuff happens that you're not expecting. And I just wanted to take that and do that, but also have like war like happening as well. And I try to not have the war picture affected. You can sit and watch the war if you want, or you can watch me being an idiot on the side. But yeah, Prime, Ilvantia Prime. I think I've said his first name wrong. But he's brilliant. He doesn't stream all the time, and when he does stream, it's like first thing in the morning for me. But I discovered him during lockdown, and it's just the stuff he does is insane. Yeah.
There we go. And final question: if you had to give up Iron Brew or marbles?
Marbles.
Good. That was the correct answer. There was only one right answer. You got that one. Right. Let's get on to these viewer questions now. Big Judo was in the chat earlier on. Judo came by and he says, who, in your opinion, is the best guest on the Mack report? Now, this is brilliant because you now get to give a different answer to what you gave regarding the show. You can do something different with this one.
So, like, who I've had on, like, not what one did I enjoy the most, but who was the best guest?
Yeah, he was very specific to say best guest.
Oh, I can't say Judo because that'd be weird. So I loved the one that I laughed the most in was Mara and Shide's one, because honestly they're like a married couple. It was the funniest thing. Shide did a face reveal. He wore this ape mask thing. I genuinely thought it was his ears because the lighting was so dull and he'd matched it perfectly. I thought he had these massive ears. I did like a double take when I saw it. It was hilarious. And they just fought with each other the whole time, and I just sat there and watched it, and it was hilarious. That was great fun. Yeah, that's probably been like the most entertaining in terms of how much I laughed at it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What else have we got in here? I think I know who wrote this one. How OP was the Rig podcast? And I'm going to expand on that question. Like, if you were sort of watching the Rigoletto podcast, did you incorporate any of that into what you're doing with the Mack report? Because I'll call it. I get the free, because I used to do some work with him, so I get the freedom to be a bit more honest about this. The Rig podcast was in a very different style. It was much more toxic. Let's call it how it is. Much more toxic than the current meta of Clash of Clans talk shows. But it was entertaining. And I think anybody that says that it wasn't is crazy, because the number of views that it got, it must have been worth watching. So go on, talk to me. What do you know about it? How much did it affect you?
I've never heard of it. I saw that question pop up. I genuinely didn't know what it was. So it was Rigatores. Sorry.
No, Rigoletto called.
Rigoletto. Oh, so I thought you said Rigatore.
No, Rigoletto.
I've not heard of it. Was it video? So I've said my inspiration for this was your interviews with Into the Clan Clash. That's genuinely where it came from. I'd listened to some podcasts, like audio podcasts, on Clash as well, but and that maybe initially was where I thought this was going, was sort of like a bit of a...
It is possible then you might have heard one of his, because it was the biggest at the time. And he did it live on Discord, but then he would put it out as an audio podcast. And it was the Bye Forever show. That's why I thought, because you mentioned Bye Forever earlier on, so I thought you might be...
Yeah, no, Bye Forever Family, or but no, I think it was like Married to Clash or something that I listened to a couple of times. But yeah, so like, no, sorry. If I robbed stuff from them.
No, I was curious about that one as well, because I was thinking earlier, remember I said to shout out the Echo show that he did, and I knew there was another one that was on my mind. I couldn't think of it off the top of my head, but it was. I mean, the Rigoletto podcast for a long time was the biggest podcast on Clash. And when I call it toxic, I'm being a bit harsh here, but it was very much more not family friendly. It was very much, there was anything and everything talked about. Toxic's probably a bit harsh. I'm probably being a bit mean there, but it was incredibly entertaining and very popular at the time. And I know that quite a lot of things that have gone after it have, definitely taken inspiration from it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to send you a link to an episode.
Yeah, man. Magnus Games is saying weekly scandals, good times.
Absolutely. So how we tiptoe around the scandals. Yeah. Rick would make a show. I remember once there was an emergency podcast just after a ban wave. Like, that's the kind of show that it was. I think that one had the most views ever. That was the level that it was on.
I remember another good question. Wave. Do you remember that first ban wave that came through, like the big one with the psychic octopus? And there was like YouTubers that just stopped and just said, like, I'm quitting. And it was like, it's because you were hacking, mate. Yeah. Definitely because you were hacking. It's like literally the day before it came out. The shite saying most entertaining. Yeah, because of Mana Shite, not because of you. Sorry,
It was fascinating when that bandwidth came out, because then afterwards, normally, like when I was sort of very active on Clash, I would wake up and probably have anything from 10 to 20 alerts from various places and DMs and stuff. When a bandwave landed, it was like over 100. So I'd rub my eyes. I'm like, oh God, what's happened? So yeah, bandwaves would definitely highlight Discord. Right, moving on. How many times have you rage uninstalled? I'm sorry, I can't shout out who gave the questions, but obviously, thanks for these questions. They are brilliant. How many times have you rage uninstalled? Not rage quit, but uninstalled.
I don't think I've ever uninstalled the game. I've stopped playing, but it wasn't through rage. It was through like I'm a bit bored. I'm going to try something else. So the first time I maxed my account, I made a mini, and then I made another mini. But then I just kind of drifted away from it and started playing different games. And I actually went to other Supercell games. I picked up Clash Royale for a while and Boom Beach. Boom Beach is kind of...
I can't believe you said that on the show, to be honest.
It's still going, but it's not like... Boom Beach I stopped playing because I forgot to download it onto my new phone one time. That makes sense. It's just like, that's how ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, just stopped. But yeah, so I've tried like other games and all that sort of stuff, but then I've always found myself coming back to Clash. That was, and normally when there's been a new update, I'm not playing the game right now very much, I'd say, and I think that's because like the new updates sort of, we need something new, we need something sort of fresh to come into it. I'm still loving watching other people play it though, and
see, that was one of the questions I didn't ask you, and I was going to. It was on my mind. So, but now you've opened the door to it. First of all, a quick one. We'll follow on for that one. We'll give the viewer what they wanted here. Okay, you've not rage uninstalled, so let's reword the question. What is the most angry you've been? What's the most rage you've had from Clash of Clans? What happened, and how did you cope with that rage?
I wasn't necessarily rage. I don't get angry. I try not to get angry about a game. It is only a game, if that makes sense. I no-starred once on stream. That was incredible. Clash Royale has made me rage. Oh man, that game used to make me angry. That I uninstalled that game because of that, because I was like, I'm going to break my phone. When someone who's got like troops that are like cars that are like 6 times stronger than yours, and just absolutely destroys you, and is giving you like smiley faces and all that. So I'm just like, ah! That was Clash of Clans is never. I've never been that level. I felt massive pressure in like 5v5 stuff and all that sort of stuff. I felt all of that, but yeah, not rage or not like pure anger, if that makes sense. It's funny. It's actually one of the only games. I think it's like if I screw up, I don't get angry at the game. I get angry at myself. Do you know what I mean? It's like, whereas I don't think I've had any sort of like. I think I've had like so like I remember one time with troop deployment bar. You know, we had to when you used to have to scroll it back and forward. I remember that I got a 99, and then I came out the game, and someone said to me, "You had an archer on the left," and I was like, "Oh man!" And I did, and all I needed to put the archer down on that collector, and I would have won. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's yeah. So like there's times that have been stupid. The no start on stream was incredible. Like I had half an army, didn't have any. It's just a disaster. Anyway. So
it does sound abusing. That clip of the North Star with the title "Skills to Pay the Bills." That's a video. That's a thumbnail there and there.
I think a video.
Carbon's been really into using the TikTok recently. I think there's a TikTok opportunity there that you can link. Because I know you've been experimenting with it as well. So.
Yeah. I've got a TikTok as well. Yeah, I don't get the millions of views that Carbon does, but I'm definitely profiting. I think that my views have gone up now that the algorithm has recognised Clash of Clans as a game because Carbon Fin's on there, so it's quite cool that way.
There is again, this is a subject we're not going to go into as the show's going to be even longer, but there is a logic that the more people that get into something like the events that you were showing me, more people get into that, the better it will do. Trovo, when that was trying to set up, if more clashes would have gone there, we might have been able to do something with Clash of Clans on there, the stream platform. And it's exactly the same with TikTok. If several people go onto it, we'll, like you said, we'll get Clash of Clans to get traction in the algorithm, and then everyone benefits. There's definitely some synergy. That's probably the right word.
Yeah.
But again, that's another show. That's another 30-minute segment. So I'll come back to the question I didn't ask you. And you mentioned updates. And obviously, you have the inside track with Darian. We know that you and him have private conversations. You have a bit of a chat here and there. And, you know, how's your day? How's the wife? How's the kids? How's the... I know what goes on.
Imagine if we were best mates. That'd be awesome.
Bestie mates. It's great. This lack of update. And Darian did, one of the few things he kind of admitted that we all kind of knew is that there was meant to be more update in December. There was meant to be more update last year. Certainly it's meant to have been here by now. And I actually don't mind the fact that it's not here in the sense that I'd rather it, if it's wrong, then don't put it in. And that's kind of what he alluded to, but it's not ready yet. Fine, I'm okay with that. But how serious is this situation? Again, less teams in esports. Again, you said that maybe the in-game link was part of the problem, but it certainly feels like esports is perhaps not at the strongest place it's been. The main game itself, and you even mentioned it in one of your first questions, some people, when they get to max 14, they finish the game. And that's a problem to keep them motivated now that we've got more and more players at that max. So all those factors put together, if we were DEFCON 1 to 5, how serious is it that we don't have new content? What state of play is Clash in?
Yeah, you probably don't notice it as much on the esports side of things. I think that's probably the thing, because actually esports is your diehard sort of people. When Town Hall 14 dropped, you saw a whole load of people appear in stream saying, "I've just picked up the game again. What the hell are these pets?" and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? You get all these random, "I'm a Town Hall 10. What's that thing there?" So yeah, I think there is. It's that thing of like the esports fans hate to admit, but we need those masses. We need those masses to drive it in, and so yeah, it's probably like in the middle at the moment. I don't know which is up or which is more scary. Like one's a big problem or five's a big. I don't know which is like. But
you're going for free. You're gonna.
But let's go right in the middle, and then that makes it nice and easy. But yeah, I think it's that thing of like actually, people will come back when there's an update. But there needs to be an update. That's probably the thing. And actually, it's not that difficult to do. It doesn't need to be Town Hall 15. It doesn't need to be this new game mode. Although they would bring a bigger audience. But actually, just a couple more expensive upgrades. A new super troop to play with, something like that, or a new troop, like some like little things like that you can do. That's kind of I remember that when they talked about super troops, that was one of the things they talked about was that a super group wouldn't necessarily always be there. Now, the super groups that we've got have always been there, but I remember them saying that in one of the first videos. Was like, we might trade these out. It's like, well, then trade them out. Annoy the entire world by taking away super wall breakers, and that would completely change the game. Maybe not necessarily.
I have to stop you there. That would not annoy the entire world. There was one caster in that developer group that there used to be that said we should not have super wall breakers. They will ruin wall breaking, and it will take a big skill element away from the game. I hate the super wall breaker. I really do. I think it's a shame to have it.
It's totally changed the game. It's a game changer, and if you wanted to change the game substantially, then remove super wall breaks. That would be a really interesting change to the game, and just rotate them. But the problem
so your idea is kind of almost like a season-based thing where you have a couple of months with these troops and then the next one starts up with them, just to keep the meta flexible.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily work for esports and that. It would annoy people, but it would keep the game fresh. And like, everyone has to use wall break. Like, that's a thumbnail. Like, you know what I mean? That's a YouTube video. Like, here's how to attack without super wall breakers. Here's how to break it. And people are like, people put their small bombs outside the base. What's that? I don't understand that anymore. Like, people don't do that anymore. Do you know what I mean? There's a whole lot of things that would come back into the game and you would change. So, I don't know. It's like, there's little tweaks you can do. Things that I'm not coming up with new ideas. Things that Supercell talked about and then have never done. So, nerf Super Drax is bad. So, yeah.
You
Super
mentioned...
Drax was a really strange addition.
Especially after Dragon Rail
was so strong.
Yeah, it really is bizarre to add another super strong air troop to an already overly strong air meta. I agree with you. That surprised me, I have to admit. When I saw it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But to keep flowing on that question then,
sorry.
We're at DEFCON 3. How much longer can we go on without an update before we get from this is a problem to this is a crisis? Because some people already say it's a crisis, some people always say it's dying. I mean, there's a variety of opinions. But in your view, is there a time scale that we have to get something out for?
I think people. I think there's like a known time when updates happen, and I think people will quite happily wait until the summer update for something to happen. If nothing happens in the summer, it's like, what's going on? Like, remember, and esports doesn't have an influence on that, so they can't say, it's because of Worlds or whatever, because they dropped super troops and stuff. Value Baby, thank you for the follow. They dropped super troops in the middle of the world cycle. They threw Dragon Riders in after the May qualifier. It was like, flipping heck, what are these things? These things are insane. Like, every troop, when it first comes out, is insane. It stayed pretty insane for a long time. So, I think summer is when people will start being like, have you just given up on this game? I think there's an element, and I know that Supercell have said there isn't, but I think there's an element of, there's 3 games in development just now. People will have been moved around because of that. Darian is busy because he's the community manager for 2 different games at the moment. And he did say in the chat that Clash of Clans looks after itself. But actually, it does and it doesn't, because if we're moving towards something where there's no update, he needs to be in that room saying, you need to give the community something. That's his job. And hopefully that's what he's doing just now. But he's
and when you have, like, for example, when he calls you after this stream and you have your little good night chat, are you going to mention that to him? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I think on behalf of the community, let me say good, because
there was 2 things that. So when he was on, I mentioned to him about how ice hounds are misnamed and they should be snow hounds, and it's Snowlow, and he said, "Yeah, I'm writing that down," and didn't move his hand at all. It didn't do anything, and I was like, "Oh, he's clearly fobbed me off," and he was clearly fobbed me off. He meant it. But do you know the other thing is the Wallbreaker queen skin? The queen skin with the Wallbreaker outfit, that's a must-have. Yeah, we've got the Golem King. Why can we not have the Wallbreaker Queen? That needs to be a thing that happens. And he genuinely looked like that was a good idea. Like, the expression on his face was like, "Oh, that's a good point." Because the Snowhound, he was like, "I found whatever." I think we could see the Wallbreaker Queen skin one day. I'm telling you. Now, that's not going to draw people back to the game, but still, that would be cool. So anyway, that's.
I don't want to steal your Darian thunder, but one of my greatest moments with Darian was, we were doing some testing, and I said, "I'm going to YOLO troll this base." He's like, "What?" I So YOLOtron, it's this where we send in some E-drags with a blimp, we explode it all out, and it's just monstrous damage. And he's like, that is the best name for an attack ever. So I think you'll know if Darian gets an input in the next update, if YOLOtron becomes #1 attack again. But yeah, I mean, but that's what we need. We need something fun back into the game, that much is for sure. And I think that I don't really want to hammer this point home, because I think everybody knows it. I think everybody's in agreement on it. I think Supercell know it, but I do understand that if the update's not ready, then don't put it out. It's better to wait than put something out that's broken, especially with Worlds at the minute. I mean, oh yeah, the carnage. So, dead quick, we had a couple more. I don't want to ignore anybody. Can we see a live Mack versus Adam 1v1? I'll answer that no. Mack, do you have a better win percentage at Clash or Marbles?
A better win percentage at Clash or Marbles? Well, I've never won at Marbles in terms of like a Grand Prix. I stumble across Marbles, I love it, and Town Hall 13 was my meta. I was incredible. Gaz Tomo, who's in the stream, nicknamed me Gaku. I played in a team called Hard Carry for Mack. And
Scottish Gaku.
two games where I was the only player on my team that 3-starred with Super Witches. So
you said you were struggling to make thumbnails for these videos. The Scottish Gaku. That's your thumbnail. I'm serious. I'm gonna give you some Photoshop ideas here. So you get a big picture of Gaku, because let's face it, Gaku, good picture anyway. Give him, outfit him, change his colours to Scottish, give him a Scottish t-shirt, something, anything like that. And there's your thumbnail done. I don't know if you do your own thumbs or if an artist does it for you, but there you go. You can have that one. That's for free.
Maku, got it. Yeah.
One other quick fire question here. Actually, it's a good one. I like this one. Favorite esports or competitive match that you have ever watched? It doesn't say streamed. It says watched.
Oh. Am I allowed to do a Family Feud one?
I had a feeling you would. So go on.
I genuinely can't remember esports wars a lot of the time, because they happen and then it's almost like do you know what I mean? It's gone. There's been some incredible ones where like Owls have won wars and all that sort of stuff. That one recently where the death damage from the E-drag, winning it for Chazmac, that was insane. But there was a Family Feud. It was Unfair Warfare versus the Greeks, Chaos family, and Chaos family were 4 3-stars up, and Unfair Warfare had 4 hits left, and they had to 3-star every hit, and I think it was 9. It was something crazy like that. Anyway, I made a video of it because it was so insane. It was incredible, and it was this huge comeback, and it was amazing. So exciting to watch, and every hit being just like pure pressure. It was brilliant. So probably that one. But that's not really an esports war, so I don't know if that counts. I don't know if I've...
No, it says competitive or esports. The question was well worded to allow you to get that answer.
Good. That was brilliant.
Right.
It was such a good war.
And then a viewer called Time to Clash has wrote you a question. It says, when is Susie Gaming going to be on the Mack Report?
Do you know what? Susie Gaming has been asked on the Mack Report, I think twice now. And she has said no. So
just to clarify here, you asked Darian, he immediately says yes. The second time he asks you, when you ask Susie twice, she says, so I said earlier that the peak of Clash of Clans talk shows is Darian. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's Susie Gaming. Is that what
Maybe it's Susie. Susie too cool for Matt. Yeah, so Stoner, so she said, I know she's in the chat just now, but she's had the same treatment that absolutely any streamer gets when they come on. When they come on, I go, can you come on? And they go, well, I'm not sure. And that's what she said. She's shy. I would love to have Susie on. It'd be absolutely awesome. But also, I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't understand how she can be shy, because, like, she's a streamer. I don't know.
She's not just a streamer.
This feels really weird on this side of it. I kind of get where she's coming from. It feels really weird being this side of it, being asked questions, and people. The concept of people being here for me, I still can't. Every time I go live, I'm surprised that people have turned up. I'm like, what's going on? Why are you people here? Like, you've not had a raid. You guys have come here by yourself. You're mental. Rick saying he was on twice, Rick, you were on twice. And also, every time Rick's been on, the team's then broken up, so it's been awkward. So Rick came on with Vanguard.
Mildly concerning.
Then he came on with, who was the second? Then he came on with someone else, and the team broke up as well. And then, and so he refuses to come on with Tribe because I think he wants to stick with Tribe. So with Juan from Bazingers, yeah. Then like a couple of months later, you guys stopped. You're just like, nah, we're leaving. So yeah.
Just because we've had a couple of Tribe people in here tonight, I will just throw this out there. Very excited to see what they do this year. I really do like this lineup they've got. It's one of those where now I'm really looking forward to streaming them or even just watching them. Like they are an exciting team. I'm curious as to what they'll do this year. However, so there we go. So Sue, what can we say? So that does lead me on to the sort of the final, the closer here. What's the future for Mack? What's next? What's next with the Mack report? Mack report. What's next for Maku, Scottish Gaku? What's next on Clash? Talk to us a little bit. What's the future hold?
I genuinely don't know. I basically stumble my way.
You should just stop at the end of that. I don't know. Great answer.
I look at some streamers that appear on the scene, and you can see. I'm like, oh wow, I see what they've done there. They've gone about it really. They've got a real strategy there. I genuinely fell into streaming by accident during lockdown. Someone said you should try Twitch. I was like, oh, I've got an account. I don't really know how that works, but okay, I'll try it on my laptop, and it like dropping frames all the time and all that, and slowly upgrading things. And I don't like. I'm loving doing the Mack reports. I love doing Family Feud. I actually wasn't sure about doing a fourth season of Family Feud, and I took a bit of a gap from it, and then people were like, where is why have you not got Family Feud? I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do one. And the response is, I was like, okay, wow, okay, I'd see what's going on. 30 people, 30 teams, huge names. It's just absolutely insane. I'd love to do this full time. I genuinely don't know if that's realistic in any way. I'm going on in my years. I don't know if you've noticed, Adam. But
you're answering every question that I didn't have time to ask you, because one of my questions was going to be, it's a bit personal, this one, but like obviously Lexnos looks like a gamer kid. Yeah. Like, and I mean that affectionately. Like, it's not an insult. I mean it like genuinely. Like, he looks like somebody who plays esports. He looks like he could be playing Fortnite, League of Legends, whatever. Like, he's got that look about him. He's got that attitude, that just everything. The way he presents himself, he just looks like a gamer. Like he has it all. And I know myself. Like, I'll throw myself under the bus first. I know that. And to be fair to you, I think we're possibly slightly above that esports generation. So, and I was going to talk to you about this if we had more time. Again, there's so much we could have talked about. But like, does that impact your decisions a little bit, like with the future and the present? Do you sit there and think, man, what am I doing? I'm pretending to be something I'm not, or is that stereotype not as strict as it should be? Or is it more strict than it should be?
So, I mean, I grew up with computer games. Like I had this old man. So my mate had a Commodore 64. My first computer console was a Master System that I'm not very good at saving money. I managed to convince my sister to buy the Master System, and I'd buy the game for a tenner because that's all the money I had, and she spent the 40 quid on the Master System, or however much it was. It wasn't much, but a Sega Master System, and that was our game. And you couldn't save games; you had to like play them all the way through. All these sort of old man stories, and like that's sort of my background. I love playing computer games. I remember watching Games Master on the telly saying I would love to do this as a job, but I'm a teacher. I make teacher salary, which we pretty much spend on supporting the family. So I can't just turn around and leave, and take that risk of being a full time. Maybe I could, I don't know, but taking that. I
mean, streaming. You only work half the year anyway.
Do you know what I mean? It's a risk for my entire family, and that's the thing. It's just like it's too scary a step. I'd love to just cut my own detail and do all that sort of stuff. But it's not.
I was throwing shade at teachers there. I was saying you only work half the year anyway, so.
Oh, exactly, yeah. But do you know the annoying thing? See, when you get to that, like, right, this summer I'm going to make a big push. Oh, the flipping students make their big push as well. Suddenly Twitch gets really busy, by the way. Rubbish.
I have friends that are teachers, and one of them, it was oh, when was it? I mean, it was a couple of years ago now, but it was about, so it must have been just after the May half term. So like sometime in June, they're like, oh, I need a holiday. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? You've already had 2 weeks for Easter, 1 week in February, 1 week in May, a bunch of bank holidays. I was like,
it's so exhausting. Man. It's so exhausting.
Teachers.
But yeah, but it's also like you choose to do it. Like I came to teaching late. I've had a million jobs, and I love teaching. I absolutely love it. So it's like, yeah.
But you would love to do this full time if the opportunity opened.
Yeah. I definitely envy sort of like, and I not like, oh, I wish I didn't have my family. That's not what I'm saying, but I envy the people who have got no commitments, or possibly, I don't know the personal circumstances, but probably living at home, so don't have that outgoing of like rent or anything, and actually can afford to go, do you know what? Instead of getting a job, like a proper job, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to try a year at doing a job that my parents don't understand, but you know what, actually could generate some income, and like there's a certain sort of real advantage to that, but I don't regret where I am. I came to this late and I absolutely love it. So. Yeah.
But in the short term, we can expect more of it. At the very least, we can expect more of the same. There's going to be Family Feud. There's going to be more war streams, more esports streams, more Mack report. Everything. Nobody needs to worry. You're still.
Yeah. I'm so part time, not going nowhere.
Wow.
But I'm not. I burnt out at YouTube. Before, that's been the original time when I was just doing it and doing a couple of hours a week and recording the videos and all that and not really enjoying it. So I've deliberately like just doing this at my own pace and growing the speed that I'm growing. I look at other people and I'm like, wow, look at their growth. But then I'm like, well, they've really worked at that. They've put the hours in. I've put the hours in, but I've put as many hours as I'm able to put in and still be able to see my family and do you know what I mean? Like have a life and all that sort of stuff and have a job and all that sort of stuff. I'd probably like one ambition for this year, and it may be in the works, is I'd quite like to do like I'd like to do something that had the like a Mack Cup, like I don't know, like Itsu's got the Itsu Cup, and the people have got cups all over the place, so I want a Mack Cup because everything about me is Mack. I throw Mack everywhere. Like I kind of did it as a joke at first, like so like the channel points are called Mack Bucks because it was like, imagine someone using his own name for his currency. I thought that's just ridiculous, but actually I've done it. So Mack Cup, it's in the works.
Well, what about
some
after
sponsorship if people are interested in sponsoring?
After the 4th edition of Family Feud, you get the 4 winners together and just do it in one weekend. Just 4 clans, 4 teams in Family Feud.
Yeah,
that could be the Mack Cup.
That sounds awesome as well. We have that could be. I don't know, that I like that as well. I'm writing that down. Rob that. That's instantly stolen. But slightly more competitive. There's a gap in the market at the moment. There's not as many 10v10 leagues at the moment, so that's what we're working on at the moment. I'm working with EYG on that to try and make a 10v10 tournament. It'd be awesome. The Iron Brew Cup. Imagine if Iron Brew sponsored it.
I really enjoyed the MPL that Mara used to do. That's how I met Mara, when she was doing MPL.
I loved the 10v10 stuff, but it's disappeared. I think there's a real space for it. I understand that 20v20 is just too big for some teams, but actually a 5v5 team saying, oh, let's just join up with those guys, and then we've got a really strong 10v10, that'd be cool. So yeah, that'd be awesome. There we go.
Queen Walker's strut, would that even be fair play? Would that just be too much? Right, this has gone on far longer than it was meant to. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really have. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for doing this. It's so cool.
I look forward to seeing an edited version on YouTube. Oh man, and what's crazy is there's so many subjects that I haven't talked about. You brought one up there about your previous jobs. That was another question we were going to talk about. We skipped the streaming stuff, and that's a whole, like, an entire show in itself. Structures of this year's events and stuff, man. China, that could have been Russia as well. We definitely dodged that one. I mean, there's so much we could have talked about. And it's one of the things I enjoy most about Clash of Clans is chatting about it, and I hope that people got to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, thank you, man. I still can't believe there's people here watching this, but thank you everyone that's watching. It still feels strange, and it's ridiculous that Blame Adam wanted to interview me. Like that's insane. So thank you, man.
You're a big deal now. I mean, you're not Susie big deal, but you're big deal.
Yeah,
So
obviously not. I mean,
No.
Susie isn't going anyone's stream. You know what I mean?
we all aspire to be that level. I've already got angry DMs. I'm going to shut up.
That's cool. Wait, thank you so much. We normally like the guest gets to choose who to raid, which would be me. But I feel like you should choose who to raid. So on YouTube, it's just going to end because that's the way that it's brutal on YouTube.
It's clearly got to be Jar Jar.
Who?
Jar Jar Jade.
Mara. There we go. Right, I need to get this right because I will screw this up because she has BB at the end of her name, which always throws me. Right, Mara Jade BB. Right. Got it. Let me type it in properly. I'm going to type raid first, eh? The amount of times that I've raided not Mara Jade, just raided some random offline stream without the BB at the end has been brilliant. Just like absolutely useless. Guys, I can't believe there's still people here. D, thank you for being here the whole time. Samo was here for ages. Stoner went away, played a war, and then came back. Adam, that's just insane, just mental. Guys,
you can see why I had to stop doing these shows. I could never finish one quick enough.
This is so long. This is like a 3-hour stream or something. And I talked for an hour before you turned up. People were here for a Just Chatting stream for an hour. It was mental. I didn't understand.
Fashionably late, can I just say?
It was brilliant. It's you're gonna rewind and catch what you missed. That's awesome. Stoner, catch you later, man. I'm gonna hit raid now. Have I done raid? Is it raiding? Is it working? Oh, there we go.
I'm raiding. I'm on my way.
You're on your way already. Bye. I don't know if it's worked. Bye YouTube. See you later.